we would be covering chapter 4 of Economic Survey of India. Chapter 5 we had done in the very first class. So chapter 4 is something that we're going to cover. In chapter 4, there are two areas of economy which are being covered. One is the banking sector and other is the capital market, जहाँ पे stock exchange और उसमें क्या चल रहा है. These are the two broad areas which are being covered in this section. Today's class will divide in two parts. In the first part, we'll be dealing with the banking and capital market issues. In the second part, we'll be dealing with insolvency and bankruptcy code. So far, the chapters that we had done, in those chapters, you saw that a summary of a chapter was given in 7, 8, 9, 10 pages. But this chapter, you'll see that it's a pretty big summary because there are lots of very important things which we had to cover in detail. For example, insolvency and bankruptcy code in itself was very important. Deposit insurance wala issue was very important. So I could not just filter out a lot of things. So this chapter is a bit bigger one. Time thoda zyada lagega. So we'll divide the class in two parts. पहले हम normal चीजें करेंगे, banking, capital market, and then we'll take a break of half an hour or so, and then we'll deal with insolvency and bankruptcy code. Okay, now this class would give you a lot of new terms. जैसे आपको reverse repo rate तो पता होगा, but some new terms जो repo rate या reverse repo rate के साथ associate करके एक नया meaning बनाता है. This chapter will help you get that. So whenever you're not able to understand some of those key terms, please let us know, or please let me know. एक एक चीज समझनी है हमें, so that do you all understand repo rate, reverse repo rate, all those things you are supposed to study. Other things we'll be dealing with here. So let's start with it. First thing that we're looking at is the monetary policy में development. So now, because of there are some more things. I should not be using Hindi. Okay. So it's a request. Please take class on regular basis. Otherwise, syllabus will not be. By Friday, Saturday, Sunday class hogi. I'll try to take some extra classes. Where were we? Because of COVID-19 crisis, there were economic issues. In those situations, what happens? Government tries to put in more stimulus. At the same time, RBI would try to ensure that more money goes into the market. Okay, for that, what would RBI do? It would reduce its repo rate and reverse repo rate. This is something that you would see happening. In fact, even before 2020 COVID-19 crisis, our economy was going through a bad phase. Like 2019-20 का भी आप economic growth देखोगे, तो it was on a downward trend. COVID-19 has affected the situation more badly, but even earlier situation was bad. So you'll see that repo rate and reverse repo rate were already on a downward trend, and then 2019-2020 के बाद अब उसमें drastic reduction देखेंगे. Why would this happen? This would happen because we want more money in the economy. RBI would also want more money in the economy. So here we're saying that RBI followed an accommodative monetary policy where the policy repo rate has been cut by 250 basis point. 250 basis point matlab 2.5%. And out of this 250 basis point, 115 basis point were cut during February-May 2020. From May 2020, we already are at a very low level. Repo rate of 4% is the very, very, very low level. Us time se we have kept these rates, or RBI has kept these rates as constant. It was expected that with revival in the economy and everything, reverse repo rate and repo rate would be increased, but RBI has continued with the accommodative policy, and it has also given what is called forward guidance that in future also we will continue with an accommodative stance. In future also we'll continue with an accommodative stance to revive the economy till the time we are able to maintain inflation between 2 to 6% जो target है. Fine, this you got it. So our monetary policy is accommodative, and RBI has given a forward guidance that if inflation is not creating problems, we will continue with this accommodative stance. So current repo rate is 4%, which is the lowest in the last decade. Okay, now before we go to other aspects, do you all understand what is M0, M1, M3? Are we all clear about it? So M0 in a way is the base money that RBI introduces in the economy. Let's say RBI prints rupees 100 crore. This is the base money using which economy would run. This is M0. Okay, now if RBI has released 100 crore rupees, the money supply in our economy, is it only 100 crore rupees? No, money supply would be a bit higher. Usko समझने के लिए ऐसे समझो कि suppose I'm a person who has 100 rupees. But this 100 rupee would not only be used by me. I may use it for buying a Parle G. The money goes to Parle company. They may deposit it in the bank. Bank may give loan to someone else. Bank will have to deposit some money with the RBI as part of its CRR requirement, but bank will give some loan to someone else. That person would use it in her business. वो deposit करेंगे, तो ऐसे money supply in the economy is much higher. तो M0 is the reserve money or the money printed by RBI. It is basically measured as currency in circulation. That is currency which is with the bank and currency which is with the public, plus bankers जो RBI में पैसे deposit कर रहे हैं. Sometimes in M0 we also include government's deposit with RBI. Okay, this is the base money that we have in the economy. But M1 and M3 are measures of money supply. How much money is there in the economy? How much money supply is there in the economy? It is M1 is currency with public plus demand deposit with the bank. So आपके पास कितना currency है individually, and then demand deposits which are there. Demand deposit like money in the current account and money in the saving account. Fixed deposit account becomes time deposit. When you have fixed like for 6 months, for 1 year, when you're fixing your deposit, it becomes time deposit. So if you also include time deposit in M1, it becomes broad money. So M1 is narrow money, M3 is broad money. इसमें किसी को कोई doubt है? Before I jump on to the next thing, if you do not understand it, please let me know. I'll explain M1 and M3 थोड़ा example देके fundamental से. सबने पढ़ा हुआ है, सबको पता है? Okay, okay. Even those people who are watching it online, I'm assuming that you all understand this. Surbhi is asking, sir, accommodative stance means? Beta, accommodative stance means कि we have a relaxed money policy. We are ensuring that there is more money available in the economy. We are accommodating the bad situation in the economy, and for that we are ready to give in more money in the economy. Fine. So this M0, M1, M3, all of you understand. Okay. Now, as per Economic Survey of India, you would see the overall monetary and credit conditions have remained accommodative. Again, they want to ensure more money goes into economy. But growth rate of monetary aggregates, including M0 and M3, have been lowered compared to last year. When we look at 2020-21 wala period, that is 2020 में हम March 2020 से April 2020 से March 2021 तक जाएं, and there if you see M0 is in this red color, and now if you see M0 in 2021-22 have been on the lower side. That is the base money in the economy, the reserve money in the economy. Has it been decreasing? No. Growth has been decreasing. Please note this carefully. This is growth rate. Money has not been decreasing. ऐसा नहीं कर रहा है कि RBI money कम कर रहा है market से, but the rate at which it grew in 2020. In 2020, economic crisis, RBI was trying to ensure more and more money in the economy. Right? The growth of M0 as well as broad money has come down when compared to last year. This is one aspect that you should understand, that you should keep with you. Okay, then someone is asking, sir, interbank deposit is part of money supply. Yes, देखो deposits with the bank, अब demand deposits with the bank or time deposit with the bank can be of other bank, can be of public. It will be part of money supply because उस पैसे को यूज करके बैंक लोन दे सकता है, बाकी चीजें कर सकता है, right? The money which gets deposited with RBI for CRR purposes, that does not become part of money supply because वो तो RBI के पास चला गया. That will not the bank, वो बैंक के पास available नहीं है for giving loans and for other purposes. Okay. Now, reserve money, we said that it is year-on-year growth is 13% on 7 Jan 2022 when compared to 14.3% last year. But if you look at M0 adjusted for first round impact of changes in CRR, M0 adjusted for first round impact of changes in CRR. Do we all understand what cash reserve ratio is? The money that bank has to keep with RBI. Now, पहले तो हमने repo rate, reverse repo rate सब कुछ कम किया. We wanted more money in the economy. But in March last year, March 2021, and in May 2021, we increased the CRR. That is, bank should be keeping more money with RBI so that risk associated with the functioning of the bank is reduced. Now, अगर CRR जब बढ़ा दिया जाता है, what would happen to money supply? It will decrease, right? यहाँ पे we are saying that M0 adjusted for first round impact of changes in CRR had reduced, its growth was 7.7% as compared to 18.3% a year ago. A year ago, M0 could be much higher. Now, broad money again was growing at 9.3% in 2021 when compared to 12.5% last year. So both broad money and this money supply has gone down. Money multiplier, reserve money से कितना broad money बनेगा? तो broad money divided by reserve money is money multiplier. अगर RBI 100 rupees introduce कर रही है economy में, उससे money supply कितना हो रहा है? It will be decided by money multiplier effect. So what is money multiplier? It is the ratio of M3 by M0. RBI has introduced 100 rupees in the economy, but money supply in the economy becomes, let's say, 500. पैसे बैंक में डिपॉजिट कर रहे हो, किसी और को लोन दिया जा रहा है, and so on, इस तरह से. तो what will be the money multiplier here? 5, right? अगर 500. So if we look at money multiplier adjusted for reverse repo, turned out to be lower at 4.6% by the end of March 2021. So if you'll come here, if you look at money multiplier, this is money multiplier. Money multiplier 2017 से ही decrease हो रहा था regularly. Money multiplier has been going down. That is, RBI पैसे market में introduce कर रहा है, उसका money supply इतना नहीं बढ़ रहा था because of problems in the economy. But when we adjust money multiplier with reverse repo, like banks deposit some money in RBI or bank lend money to RBI at the rate of reverse repo, if you adjust it with reverse repo, you would see that money multiplier adjusted to reverse repo is much lower. Okay, now these were some basic things. What has happened to repo rate, what has happened to reverse repo rate. You would see repo rate and reverse repo rate has, since 2020, in 2020 it was brought to a very low level, and since then it has remained constant. What has happened to CRR? CRR in 2021, March 2021 and in May 2021, it was increased, but उसके बाद से अभी तक same रहा है. Money supply in the economy, RBI has tried to increase money supply in the economy, but money multiplier had been going down. 2017 से money multiplier had been going down. So RBI is introducing more reserve money, but it is not getting, because it is not being used that much, it is not getting converted into money supply. So money supply ka growth rate has been a bit lower. Now, liquidity condition and its management. इसमें basically we are going to talk about in last 1 year, 2021-22 में. In last 1 year, what are various steps which RBI has taken to introduce more money in the economy? एक तो repo rate, reverse repo rate 2020 में हमने कम कर दिया. उसके बाद in 2020 अंदर आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान, a lot of initiatives were launched. In the same way, in 2021, a number of initiatives were launched by RBI to increase money in the economy. हमारा इकोनॉमी अभी भी 2021 में भी it was not at a very good phase, वहां पे भी लॉकडाउन्स लग रहे थे, तो RBI was trying to take a number of steps to increase money supply there. So what are various initiatives which have been taken by RBI to increase money supply is something that we are going to answer. Okay, so first is special finance facilities of rupees 66,000 crore to all India financial institutions. What is happening here? Here RBI is saying we will finance all India institutions like NABARD, National Housing Bank, SIDBI, so that they'll be able to give more loans to their customers, so that more money would be available in the market. So special for refinance facilities of rupees 66,000 crore to these all India institutions at repo rate. Repo rate पे आप जब पैसे लेते हैं तो ओवरनाइट वाले पर्पस के लिए ले रहे होते हैं, but RBI at repo rate would provide this special finance facilities to these all India institutions. When these all India institutions would be able to borrow money easily, they would be able to give more money to various stakeholders in the economy. Similarly, term liquidity facility of rupees 50,000 crore to ramp up COVID-19 related health infrastructure and services in the country. So in this case, if a bank is trying or is wanting to give funds, to give resources, to give loans to organizations which are dealing with COVID-19 related things, for them, RBI had this facility. To help those banks, RBI had this facility. So this is an on-tap liquidity facility, where on-tap matlab whenever the bank would go to RBI and say that for this purpose, we want to get some more money from you. This is an on-tap facility with a tenure of up to 3 years, where the money would be provided at repo rate. So today, like, it is available till March 31, 2022. So March 31, 2022 has not occurred. Let's say I'm a bank, I'll go to RBI, and on tap matlab whenever you go, whenever you tap, or tap, like water supply, you switch on the tap, you get water supply. On tap facility का मतलब ये होता है कि whenever you go, you can. So I suppose, let's say I'm a bank, I'll go to RBI कि I need 5,000 crore rupees under this initiative. You give it to me for 3 years at the interest rate that is repo rate, and then this 5,000 crore rupees which I have taken for this purpose, I'll only be able to give for dealing with COVID-19 related things. ये पैसा और कहीं नहीं जाएगा, इसीलिए term liquidity facility of to ramp up COVID-19 related health infrastructure and services. Did you all understand it? Pakka? Now, this lending will also be considered part of priority sector lending. So PSL हमने पढ़ा नहीं अभी. Right now we're dealing with Economic Survey of India. We'll come to economy. कुछ देखो, Economic Survey of India covers 75% of the current affairs. जितना हमें इकोनॉमी में करंट अफेयर्स पढ़ना है ना, 75% is done by Economic Survey of India only. Remaining 25% we will separately do. वहां पे हम priority sector lending पढ़ेंगे, जिनको नहीं आता, but I hope most of you already understand what priority sector lending is. So this money would also be considered a part of priority sector lending of the bank. तो बैंक जब COVID-19 के लिए लोन देगा, COVID-19 related चीजों के लिए लोन देगा, it will be considered part of priority sector lending. Now, another interesting thing is there. Here, when bank will give loan for this purpose, they will create what is called COVID loan book. When bank is giving loan, तो देखो, एक तो RBI से उन्होंने पैसे लिए, बोला this money will only be using for COVID-19. On tap money, whenever I went, I took money from RBI. It is available for 3 years. It is available on repo rate interest. Otherwise, if the scheme was not available, this borrowing would have been more expensive. But right now it's available at repo rate. Now I'll create a COVID loan book showing ki this much money I have given, I have lent for COVID-19 related purposes, and जितना पैसा मैं COVID loan book में दिखा रहा हूं कि I have lended the money outside. Here RBI has provided one more facility. What is the facility? It is this. If you have excess money with you, what do you do? If a bank has excess money with it, what does it do? It gives it to RBI and gets reverse repo rate वाला interest. Reverse repo rate is lower than repo rate. तो RBI आपको पैसा देता है तो आपको ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट रेट देना पड़ेगा बैंक को. But when bank gives money to RBI, it gives money at reverse repo rate, jahan pe the interest that you get is lower. In this case, what would happen? Bank will be eligible to park surplus liquidities, the extra money that bank has, up to the size of COVID loan book. COVID आपने वो लोन दिया है आगे उस साइज का, up to the size of COVID loan book under reverse repo window at a rate of 25 BPS lower than the repo rate. It means you'll be able to give money to RBI, lend money to RBI at a rate higher than reverse repo rate. Generally reverse repo rate and repo rate में 0.5 का difference है, अभी 0.65 का difference है, but here they are saying that you will be able to lend money to RBI at 25 BPS below repo rate. It means it is higher than reverse repo rate. So this is another mechanism by which RBI is saying, take money from us, lend it for COVID purposes, but if you have surplus money, you can deposit it to us. You will not be at a lot of loss. Only 25 BPS. You have borrowed money from us at repo rate. At repo rate, you return it to us at 25 BPS below repo rate. सबको समझ में आ रहा है? I'm hoping.
सर अगर जैसे सीआरआर जो है वो आरबीआई बढ़ा रहा है और मनी एक्सचेंज वैल्यू बढ़ नहीं रही है, इसका रीजन क्या है? क्योंकि सीआरआर अगर बढ़ रहा है तो उसका ईयर ऑन ईयर ग्रोथ रेट क्यों नहीं बढ़ रहा, जबकि बैंक जो है वो लोन भी नहीं दे रहे?
यार ये मतलब मुझे समझ में नहीं आया क्वेश्चन. देखो, if CRR increases, it will affect the money supply.
जो हार्ड मनी है, जो N0 है, N0 पे उसका जो इम्पैक्ट है ईयर ऑन ईयर ग्रोथ, वो क्यों नहीं बढ़ रहा है?
Year on year growth is increasing. Rate of growth is decreasing, but growth is there. Money. हाँ. Why rate of growth is decreasing? देखो, ऐसे समझो that in 2020 the amount of money that was added was much higher because 2020 पूरा crisis वाला year था, right? CRR, nothing was increased there. In 2021-22 इतना सारा पैसा नहीं ऐड किया जा रहा, CRR भी रिड्यूस किया गया है. तो amount of money that is there, which is increasing even now, RBI by all these mechanisms, you'll see in all these mechanisms RBI is trying to make more money available in the market. Amount of money is increasing, but the rate at which it is increasing is not the same. Money multiplier is lesser because देखो money multiplier कैसे बढ़ेगा, इसीलिए ना मैं actually हाँ, money multiplier, when the money would be used for more purposes, when the same money would be used for more things, then money multiplier would increase. So for that, if your economic growth is more, there would be more loans, then money multiplier would be higher. If economic growth, if economy is not doing well, money multiplier will not be good. If economy is doing well, money multiplier would be better. Okay, चलो क्लास के बाद देखते हैं आपका डाउट. Let's come to this. Did you understand this? एक aspect, even this COVID loan book wala thing very clearly. Okay, how will bank parking surplus money with RBI increase money supply? No, it will not increase money supply. Bank parking surplus money with RBI will not increase money supply. यहाँ पे what we are saying is, bank is saying, in case आप loan नहीं दे, you are borrowing money from us for COVID-19 purposes, but if you are not able to give loan ahead for that, then do not worry, you will not be at loss, not a lot of loss. We will ensure that we'll take back the money, we'll get the money deposited at a rate slightly lower than reverse repo. In other situation, what would happen? RBI would have taken the money at reverse repo, whose interest rate is much lesser. So here RBI in a way is incentivizing banks. Take this money, give it for COVID-19 purposes. Okay, I hope Khyati Sharma ji, I have tried to answer your question. Okay, there are lots of doubts actually. No sir, intervened. अच्छा, Dipanshu is saying interbank deposit is not part of money supply. देखो यार, when I think about it logically, some other bank has deposited money here. I'll be using that money to give loan to normal citizens and all. So it should be part of money supply. फिर भी I'll look into it. Logically, I'm not able to think why you're saying this. Now come to गिरधर समिनी. Hi Haritha. अच्छा, बात करना चाह रहा है हरिता से. Sir, please answer. Sir, why is repo rate adjusted money multiplier declining more since it has been constant since pandemic? Okay. Sir, why do we adjust money multiplier with reverse repo? Okay. RBI lending to banks will it requires surety. देखो, I'm now I'll come to this. Why do we want to adjust money multiplier with reverse repo rate is something that the student is asking. See, reverse repo, right. Reverse repo say why do we want to adjust it? See, money multiplier is what? How much money? A money multiplier would be decided by how much money flows in the economy. Now, if the reverse repo increases, then bank will deposit more money with the RBI. In that situation, understand this. एक situation था when reverse repo was constant, and then we are seeing money multiplier that will help us understand how much economy is doing well, how much money is flowing. But if RBI changes reverse repo, then even if economy may be doing well, may not be doing well, because of reverse repo, the money multiplier would get affected. That's why we have talked about two kinds of money multiplier. एक normal money multiplier, एक money multiplier adjusted with reverse repo. So that because of policies, the changes which have occurred in money multiplier, we should be able to differentiate it with from the normal money multiplier that would have happened, that would have been achieved in the economy. Right? I hope I have answered both your questions. आप लोगों को भी समझ में आया ये क्वेश्चन क्या था और why reverse repo wala thing? Okay. How will bank parking surplus money with RBI increase money supply? It is not increasing. So, sir, why money supply rate is decreasing? Beta, money supply growth is decreasing, not rate. Money supply last year was very, very high. Even now, money supply is increasing. Growth is decreasing. Will you provide environment lecture on YouTube this year? Yeah, I'll let you know in some times, in some days. Basically problem हो रहा है, कल कोई student ने group पे बदतमीजी किया कि are we fools to pay money when everything is going free of cost? Not everything is going free of cost. Economic Survey of India and budget is available. I had already said that even last year Economic Survey of India का पूरा series YouTube पे गया था. Many of you may have come here because after watching those series. Okay, the Economic Survey of India and budget would be going free of cost. Whenever we start a subject, first 2 lectures there. This is science tech ke first 2 lectures went on YouTube. Remaining, we have taken more lectures on science tech since then. Remaining have not gone. When we'll start economy, when we'll start polity, when we'll start geography, first 2 lectures would go on YouTube. That is our way of marketing things, our way of telling students, this is how we teach. Okay, let's come back to this. Yes, yes. See, no. बाकी नहीं. फिर तो RBI को नुकसान हो जाएगा ना. So Sumant has a question under this COVID loan book wala thing. Can bank deposit any money with the RBI? No. That is why they need a COVID loan book. Ki, this is how much money I took from RBI. This is how much I have lent for COVID-19 purposes, but I still have some surplus, and I'm at loss. Next time I'll not borrow money for this purpose. RBI would say, no, don't do that. We will take back the money at a higher interest rate. You should promote the money going for COVID-19 infrastructure, COVID-19 services. Fine. I hope clarity है इस चीज पे. Special long-term repo operations for small financial banks of rupees 10,000 crore rupees. This was another thing that was done. देखो, अब now understand this. First, repo rate you understand. Now, repo rate पे आपको short term के लिए loan मिलता है, right? RBI is saying to increase money in the economy at repo interest rate only. You take money for long term. For long term, you'll need to pay higher interest rate, right? But RBI says for long term, take money at repo rate only. Will it increase more money in the economy? Will it increase money in the economy? Yes, banks will be able to take long-term loans at repo rate only. So this is long-term repo operation. Now coming to special long-term repo operation. This is special, na? Special long-term repo operation. What is special long-term repo operation? In special long-term repo operation, this long-term repo operation is available only for some specific sector. It becomes special long-term repo operation. So this SLTRO was available only for small financial banks, and small financial banks have their own limitations. That is, they'll be able to serve smaller businesses. So this SLTRO was announced in 2021-22. इसी financial year में was announced for small financial banks, so that more money would be able to go to small businesses, micro and small industries, and other organized sector entities. So it is a 3-year SLTRO facility. Fine. ये समझ में आया? Like कोई doubt नहीं है? Okay. Let's now go to on tap liquidity window of rupees 15,000 crore for contact intensive sectors. So first, let's understand what are contact intensive sectors. Those sectors where you make a lot of contacts. स्वराली हंसने लगी contacts. अरे वैसे contacts नहीं कि जान पहचान नहीं बढ़ानी है. Where you have to really meet people. Like education we could have done online. पूरे COVID-19 में हम online पढ़ाते रहे, है ना? What are the, when you travel, when you flight में जा रहे हो, train में जा रहे हो, bus में जा रहे हो, cab में जा रहे हो, you are directly contacting anyone, right? Hotel business, वो contact वाला business है. So these businesses were adversely affected during COVID-19. To support these businesses, to increase the money supply in these businesses, RBI introduced on tap liquidity window of rupees 15,000 crore rupees. Now see, will RBI give money to these sectors? No. RBI basically ensures that banks पैसे इस पर्पस के लिए ले पाए. So here, for a term of 3 years at repo rate till March 31, 2022, for sectors like hotel, restaurant, tourism, aviationary ancillary services, and other services like private bus operators, car repair, rent a car service, etc. For these things at repo rate for 3 years, banks can borrow money from RBI at repo rate, and they will have to use this money for giving loans to these sectors. Here also they have to create a COVID loan book under this initiative by way of an incentive. Such banks will be eligible to park their surplus fund. Or same mechanism, the same thing which was happening for the COVID wala thing will be applicable here also. Okay, now extension of on tap targeted long term repo operation till 31st December 2021. Now this, see, please note it carefully. This is extension. This up now on tap targeted long term repo operation. This is not special long term repo operation. We'll differentiate. Special was for some specific sector. Special was for some specific sector. Targeted long term repo operation mein RBI wanted that this much money I want to go in the economy. This is the target, and this bank would be able to borrow and then would be able to make available in the economy. This RBI did in 2020. Now that 2020 initiative has been extended. Extension of on tap targeted long term repo operation till 31st December 2021. So on tap TLTRO was unveiled by government in 2020. Under this, 1 lakh crore was made available. Banks were able to borrow at repo rate for a period of up to 3 years, and then would invest in corporate bonds. मतलब corporate में पैसा जा रहा है, commercial papers and non-convertible debentures and so on. This was extended till 31st December 2021. Initially, it was available in 2020, और हर बार ये extend करते रहे. This initiative has been extended till 31st December 2021. Then Government Securities Acquisition Plan, Dsap. This was another initiative launched by RBI in 2020-21. इसके अंदर क्या करेंगे? Government securities buy करेंगे. Now, let's briefly understand this. If RBI buys government securities, RBI is buying government security and RBI in return is ensuring money in the market, more money supply. This would ensure money in the market. But you would say, sir, RBI buys government securities generally also. Why this special name Dsap? Why this special name? RBI keeps on buying government securities, not directly, indirectly. Right? RBI keeps on buying government securities. Market say, secondary market say, RBI through open market operations keeps on buying government securities. Then what is the point of government securities acquisition plan Dsap? Till now, RBI's buying was ad hoc. It was not in a planned mechanism. हम इतना अब खरीदेंगे, इतना अब खरीदेंगे. RBI used to come, okay, we have to increase money supply, buy government securities. We have to decrease money supply, sell government securities. There was no planned thing. But this year, in 2021-22, in this financial year, RBI gave a plan. We will sell this, will buy this much of government security in this period. Will buy this much of government security in this period. What did it lead to? It lead to people who invest in economy understand, okay, government securities RBI खरीदने वाली है. I can sell my government security, or the yield on government securities may go up, the yield on government securities may go down. वो पूरी planning कर सकते हैं if things are not ad hoc, if things are well planned. Under Dsap, this well planned thing was done. Fine. So buying government security, but in a planned manner, in a pre-announced planned manner, is Dsap. That is why Securities Acquisition Plan. In fact, you would see that even last year, RBI had bought government bonds worth 3.13 lakh crore rupees. It is lesser than what it has bought this year. But even then, this is a better initiative because it is happening in a planned manner. It does not bring turbulence in the economy. Do we all clearly understand these aspects? Okay. Now, all these initiatives were there for introducing money in the economy. 2020 maybe we introduced more money in the economy. RBI introduced more money in the economy. Even in 2021-22, RBI was trying. We have looked at so many initiatives through which RBI is trying to introduce money in the economy. And by keeping the repo rate at 4%, everyone was expecting, abhi jab meet hui, ki what if inflation is going up, RBI may increase the repo rate, but RBI did not. Because economy still needs money supply. RBI also gave this forward guidance that we would continue with this. We would continue with this. मास्क लगा लीजिए सब लोग, बहुत सारे लोग, हाँ, और सब एक एक सीट छोड़ के बैठेंगे, राइट? सब लोग मास्क लगा के एक एक सीट छोड़ के बैठेंगे, कोई साथ में नहीं बैठेगा. कहाँ थे हम? सबके पास मास्क है, सब एक एक सीट, इतना स्पेस खाली है, दूर दूर ही बैठ जाए करो. Come back to this. So we are increasing money supply, but at the same time revival भी हो रहा है. So what RBI is trying to do, RBI is also trying कि थोड़ा पैसा निकले भी इकोनॉमी से. There should be various mechanisms available so that unnecessary amount of money should not go in the economy. In a targeted manner we are doing it, but we should also reduce money in the economy. And for that there are two initiatives which RBI has taken. एक तो आपको पता ही है, CRR was increased. Increasing CRR reduces the money supply. CRR March 2021 and May 2021 में increase किया गया and it has been brought to pre-pandemic level of 4%. Another thing that RBI did, it has introduced variable rate reverse repo. Let's understand what this variable rate reverse repo is. Variable rate reverse repo. See, for exam, these things are important. When they ask you these concepts, you should be clear about what these are. Do we understand what reverse repo is? Let's say repo rate is 4%. Reverse repo is 3.5%. let's say this is for simplification purpose, this may not be the exact number. If repo rate is 4%, and if I want to borrow short-term money from RBI, if a bank wants, it will get it at 4%. It will, if it wants to, if RBI wants to borrow money, it will get it from at 3.5%. Right. Now, if RBI wants to reduce the supply of money in the economy, control the supply of money in the economy, what can it do? It can increase the reverse repo. But increasing reverse repo has certain problems. Then RBI becomes bound that if banks want to deposit money to you, you do that. Right? RBI will not be able to say no. So instead of that, what RBI has done, RBI has brought a system where it has said that we would only take back 10,000 crore rupees or 20,000 crore rupees or 50,000 crore rupees. एक target set किया, and we would do auctioning. We would do auctioning, and whoever is ready to deposit this money at the lowest possible rate, हम उसका पैसा ले लेंगे. But that rate would be higher than reverse repo. Otherwise, reverse repo में ही पैसा डालोगे. So higher than reverse repo, but lower. So let's say, let me again give you an example. Let's say RBI says that under variable rate reverse repo, we want to take 10,000 crore rupees back. Now, reverse repo rate is 3.5%. First company says that, okay, and let's say all the companies want to deposit 10,000 crore rupees only for simplification purpose. So first company says that I'll charge you an interest of 3.7%. That is reverse. Other says that I'll charge you 3.65%. Other says that I'll charge you 3.6%. Which bank would be able to deposit money with RBI? 3.6% wala. Will it reduce the money supply in the economy? Yes, in a targeted manner, without bringing in all the money back. So this is variable rate reverse repo. Reverse repo rate is the interest of the RBI pays. In reverse repo, overnight deposit and no limit on deposit is there. Now come to variable rate reverse repo. Here, auction is done to determine the rate of interest. RBI chooses those banks which charge the least interest, but this least interest should be above reverse repo. I hope you understand that. And then here, interest rate if more than reverse repo rate, but is more than reverse repo rate, but is less than repo rate. Okay, if interest rate goes more than repo rate, then bank will borrow money from RBI and will deposit it there only. Now, the interest rate which RBI offers cannot go more than repo rate. So here, interest rate would be higher than reverse repo, but less than repo rate. Fine, this is understood? Okay, so this was variable rate reverse repo. So these things, targeted long-term operation, long-term repo operation, targeted long-term repo operation, special long-term repo operations, variable rate reverse repo. These things you should clearly understand. Exam में जब आएगा ना, तो exam में you would not get the same statements which we have in our notes. But if you understand what exactly variable rate this VRRR is, you'll be able to look at those sentences and think, Hani, this is definitely wrong. This is definitely right. Only if you understand it very conceptually rather than just looking at the basic meaning and trying to cram what is given in the notes. Understand it. Okay, now. Call money rate. What is call money rate? कोई मुझे बताएगा? What is call money rate? सबने पढ़ा है ना? कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर में शॉर्ट टर्म लेंडिंग के लिए मैक्सिमम 14 डेज के अंदर में देखिए अच्छा, when banks deposit money with each other, what is the interest rate? नहीं, आपस में जब कर रहे होते हैं, देखो, understand this. If I'm a banker, I have to deposit money with RBI, what will I get? reverse repo rate, है ना? What if I deposit money with the other bank? That would be simpler, not with a lot of conditions, right? But here interest rate may be a bit lesser than even reverse repo rate. If there is more money, if there is less money supply in the economy, then in that case, interest rate would be higher because banks will not have money to deposit. So there would be a lot of banks which will be ready to take deposits. Now, the call money rate is the interest rate at which bank deposits money with the other bank. ऐसे सोचो ना, corporate वाले less rate में ले रहे हैं, वो possible नहीं होगा, right? So due to surplus liquidity, what has happened? The call money rate generally traded below the reverse repo rate. You'll see this is weighted average call money rate, and it has traded even below the reverse repo rate. Fine. So first, did you understand what is call money rate? Money at which banks deposit money with other bank, and because of excess supply of money in the economy, it has been lower even than reverse repo. You would have a question ki sir, then why not deposit money with the RBI only? है ना? A number of conditions are associated. This is simpler. Bank to bank thing is simpler, easier. RBI मना भी कर सकता है. Yes. हाँ, एक मिनट. RBI बैंक है, आपको वो मना नहीं करेगा. सॉरी, RBI नहीं, रिवर्स रेपो पे मना नहीं करेगा RBI. नहीं, RBI आपको रेपो पे लोन देने में, रिवर्स रेपो पे लोन लेने में कभी मना नहीं करेगा RBI. ये कभी ऐसे सोचो कि it is bank of last resort. So when banker does not have anything, it would eventually go there. तो कभी इस पे मना नहीं करेगा. अभी समझाया भी था ना, वेरिएबल रेट रिवर्स रेपो से पहले रेपो रेट में RBI cannot say no. Where were we? Reverse repo, overnight deposit, no limit on deposit is there. There's no limit here. अब जितना मर्जी उतना पैसा लेके आओ RBI के पास, RBI is bound to take it. It is in the same way when you have an account in SBI or any bank, you go and deposit the money, they cannot say, I'll not take this money. Right? Else it's not your bank. So I say RBI is bank for banks. It will not be able to say no. So thanks for correcting it here. It is in a targeted way. RBI is also trying to extract money from the economy. In long term, it wants to ensure that more money in long term goes into the economy, which remains in the economy for longer period. But short term में वो पैसा, क्योंकि there's a lot of money in the economy. So short term में in a targeted manner, it is trying to get money back in a targeted manner. Now, it could have done it by increasing the reverse repo, but increasing the reverse repo would have bought a lot of money back. Target करना है बस कि सिर्फ 10,000 करोड़ वापस लाने हैं या सिर्फ 20,000 करोड़ वापस लाने हैं. तो let's Rohit has a question कि sir, why promote, why not, see, why not? देखो, actually ना CRR बढ़ाने में दूसरे aspects हैं. CRR is a money which does not remain voluntary. Banks will have to compulsorily do it. That is another, its focus is something else. Yes, मैं समझ गया. It's something similar to Operation Twist जो 2020 में हो रहा था. Long term money हमें बढ़ाना, long term supply बढ़ाना है, short term में कम करना. It's something similar to that. Okay. So where were we? Call money rate. We saw that call money, weighted average call rate were lesser than even reverse repo. Now interest rates on long-term money market. Now to understand this interest rate on longer term money market, you first have to understand this, that RBI has reduced interest rates so much that जो कॉल मनी मार्केट ना वहां पे ज्यादा लोग नहीं जा रहे हैं, दे आर बोरोइंग और दे आर बोरोइंग मोस्ट ऑफ द मनी फ्रॉम आरबीआई बिकॉज आरबीआई का इंटरेस्ट रेट इतना कम हो गया है. नाउ RBI is becoming the major counterpart for banks. There was a shrinkage of interbank trading activity. RBI has become major counterpart. ऐसे we would have dealt with each other, but now we are all dealing with RBI because interest rates are so less. Average daily volume in call money market declined to 9,000 crore in December 2021 when compared to 10,000 crore in this. So call money market में average volume is going down. Now, interest rate on long-term money market instrument like 91-day treasury bill, 3-month certificate of deposit, etc. have generally traded above the reverse repo rate, slightly above the reverse repo rate. Now, let's understand what first government securities. We are coming to government securities and interest rate on government securities. In aspect को थोड़ा सा ध्यान से समझेंगे. What is the difference between treasury bills and government bonds? They are both government securities. Treasury bills are those government securities whose maturities are less than 1 year. If government issues a security whose maturity is 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, whose maturity period is 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, and more than 1 year, it becomes a bond. Treasury bill and bond both are government security only. Government bond be government backed hai. Treasury bills are also government backed. So both are government securities, but treasury bills which have less than 1 year maturity, government bonds can have longer maturity. First, this is clear. This is understood by everyone. Now, what has happened to yield of government security? So you'll see the yields on 10-year government security, which had reached 8.2% in 2018, has substantially reduced to 5.75% in 2020. Now it has slightly increased to 6.45%. So see, yield in 2018 was very high. It's substantially reduced. Now it's going up again. Now to understand yield, government wants more money for a stimulation, for providing, for doing infrastructure development, for providing COVID services. Now government needs more money when its revenue had suffered. In that case, government will issue bonds. And government would offer that I'll pay you this, let's say 7% interest rate. Now, when there is no one ready to buy government bonds, government will say, I'll pay you 8% interest rate. But when there are more people ready to buy government bonds, government will not give you high interest rate. Government will reduce its interest rate. Government will reduce its interest rate. So in 2018, not many people were interested in buying government bonds because 18-19 में चीजें खराब होनी शुरू हुई. 19 में we were doing, मार्केट से ज्यादा पैसा मिल सकता था, बाकी सोर्सेस से ज्यादा पैसा मिल सकता था, फिक्स डिपॉजिट रेट भी ठीक था, वो भी 6-7% दे देता था, राइट. बट आफ्टर दैट व्हाट हैपेंड? After that, economy started doing badly, right? COVID-19 आया, people were not ready to invest in other things. They were like, government bond में डाल दो, security पैसा मिल तो जाएगा, चाहे कम मिलेगा. So government yield kept on decreasing. This is what is being shown here. It reduced substantially to 5.75% in June 2020. Rather than putting money in stock market or other places, buy government bonds. Fixed interest rate तो मिलेगा, risk नहीं है डूबने का. This happened. Can you understand the logic? And then, as of December 2021, it has increased again to 6.45%. So, if you follow capital market, you would know that October से Indian stock market is also facing issues. It reached its peak in October, and since then कभी नीचे आ रहा है, कभी ऊपर जा रहा है, because of a number of reasons. US का tapering वाला issue we had already explained. That is one of the factors. Other than that, there are other issues also. India में inflation is going up, so there are worries that RBI will increase the interest rate. If RBI increased the interest rate, money supply would decrease, stock market में पैसा would decrease, the growth of stock market may suffer. तो people are not sure कि क्या यहाँ पे पैसा लगाने का फायदा होगा या नहीं. तो people are again going to more stable investments like government bonds. So you do not have to remember these numbers. No. इससे समझना क्या है, गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स के प्राइसेस कब ज्यादा होते हैं, कब कम होते हैं. These numbers UPSC would ask, very less chance, negligible chance. But government bonds के rates बढ़ेंगे. Yeah, they may ask you a general pattern that yield on government bond have kept on increasing since 2015. ये pattern based questions आते हैं, तो you should know कि नहीं यार 2018 से yield had reduced. या फिर they may ask you a general question, since 2018 to March 2022 yield kept on going down. उसमें भी you should understand कि नहीं, in recent times when the boom in the stock exchange, when bull run in stock exchange have ended, people are again moving towards government securities, and government securities ka yield is going up. So there are two kinds of questions, and both these kind of questions we'll do in our practice questions. एक बार इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया पूरा हो जाए, देन दीज टॉपिक्स अगेन एज आई सेड कि इकोनॉमी वाले सेक्शन में हम इनको बेसिक से एक बार करेंगे एंड विल सॉल्व अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. सो देयर विल हैव बोथ काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, बेसिक्स वाला क्वेश्चन about government bonds, how its rate changes and everything, and then this pattern wala question which comes from economic survey of India. All these pattern wala questions come from economic survey of India only, because economic survey of India tells you ki what has been the trend. Okay, so both these dono cheeze अच्छे से समझ में आई हैं. First thing that we studied was what is the difference between treasury bill and government bonds. Second thing that we studied was in what situation government bond pe yield would increase, in what situation government bond pe yield would decrease. Third thing that we have studied is the pattern, the trend that is there. Fine. Now the term spread. What is term spread? Now to understand term spread, suppose government wants to issue a bond which is of 1 year, and government wants to issue a bond which is of 10 year, and government wants to issue a bond which is of 20 years. इनमें गवर्नमेंट को रोल ओवर रिस्क किसमें ज्यादा होगा? रोल ओवर रिस्क का टर्म भी स्टडीड, किसमें ज्यादा होगा? 1 year. After 1 year it will have to give back the money and government may not have the money, right? तो government gives more interest rate किस वाले पे? 1 year वाले पे या 10 year वाले पे? 10 वाले पे. Can you understand the reason? And when people are also people want to invest for 10 years, they would say यार 10 year के लिए मतलब stable income होनी चाहिए. They would not want that 6 महीने में के लिए जो रिस्क ले रहे हैं वो 10 साल वाले पे भी उसी इंटरेस्ट रेट पे रिस्क लेंगे. तो the term spread, what is meant by term spread? Term spread is the difference in the interest rate, difference in the yield of government bonds of 1 year and 10 year. Of 1 year and 10 year. Did you get it? So measured as the gap between 10 year and 1 year government security yield. 10 year आप देखेंगे ऊपर इंटरेस्ट रेट ज्यादा कहां पे जाएगा? 10 year वाले में. कम कहां पे जाएगा? 1 year वाले में. See now, one, you can think about these concepts, these aspects in the classroom, or you can think about these things for the first time when it comes in the examination hall. जब वहां पे हड़बड़ी में सोचोगे गलती होने के चांसेस ज्यादा होंगे, बट यहाँ पे when you have understood the reason behind कि yes 10 year वाले का yield ज्यादा होता है, 10 year वाले का इंटरेस्ट रेट ज्यादा होता है, तो वहां पे कुछ गलत सोच भी रहे होगे, फिर सोचोगे नहीं यार ये तो मैंने गलत सोचा, because longer period gives more yield. So first understand why longer period wala will give more yield. Okay, this is clear. What is a term spread? This is also understood. Now we'll understand why this spread has increased drastically. Come here. In 2020, March, April, May 2020, spread increased drastically. And this increase in spread has been more due to reduction in the yield of short term bond. रिडक्शन ज्यादा हुआ है शॉर्ट टर्म वाले bonds के yield पे. Why reduction? Because more people were ready to buy government bonds. At least short term में, because short term में economy is not doing well. Because of COVID-19 and all, economy was not doing well. So where do I want to invest? I want to invest in जहां पे stability है, more people are buying. Government is saying, oh, so many people, let's reduce the interest rate a bit more, because interest rate is what government will have to pay, right? समझ में आ रही हैं चीजें? Okay. So where were we? The term spread has widened sharply in 2020, but has narrowed down slightly in 2021-22. However, it is still wider as compared to pre-pandemic level. So now it is narrowing down. You especially up 2021 में आएंगे, from starting of 2021, yield on short-term thing is also going up, but this spread is still much higher than what was the situation in the pre-pandemic level. Pre-pandemic में the spread was not this much, which is right now. Now this trend is given in Economic Survey of India. The reason you think about why this drastic increase here, reason, understand the reason, understand the logic. Economic Survey of India is not explaining you, because it is assuming that people who are reading Economic Survey of India are economists who understand the fundamental of economy. But not all of you are economists. But even then, you people should be like crystal clear about each and everything which is given in Economic Survey of India. Fine, this is understood? Okay. Let's come to banking sector. So some pattern, banking sector. One thing that Economic Survey of India says that it appears that the banking sector has fought back with the COVID-19. It has withheld itself the COVID-19 crisis. It was expected that because of COVID-19 and all, NPAs would go up because a lot of businesses would suffer. They'll not be able to pay back its loan. But as per the data of Economic Survey of India, the banking system appears to have weathered the pandemic shock. Why is it saying this? Gross NPA have continued its decline since 2018-19. Gross NPA of scheduled commercial banks were 6.9% in September 2021. Net NPA were 2.2% in September 2021. Achha, what is the difference between gross NPA and net NPA? Someone raise your hand and then tell me. You want to? Someone बोलना चाहते हो तो हाथ उठाओ. हाथ नहीं उठाओगे? No. Okay. Provisioning funds. आपने provision कर दिया. Okay. Nice. What's your name, buddy? Jatin. So Jatin has answered it. So first of all, do we all understand what is NPA? What is asset for a bank? Asset is something that will earn income for the bank. The loan which a bank has given is an asset for the bank. Okay, suppose Bank 1 has given 1 lakh rupees to Sumant. So this is asset of the bank because Sumant every month is giving some interest. Usse bank is earning profit. Okay, Sumant may have deposited 10,000 crore rupees in his bank account. This is liability of the bank. So we are talking about asset. This is asset of the bank. But suppose Sumant was supposed to pay 1,000 rupees every month return, but Sumant is not doing it. So when Sumant misses his EMI, interest rate payment, EMI includes both principal amount payment and interest rate payment, by 90 days, it becomes non-performing. This was an asset, but now it has become non-performing. This asset is not performing. When the repayment of principal or repayment of interest has not happened for 90 days, this asset starts getting called as non-performing. It's not performing. And ये asset डूब भी सकता है because वो पैसे नहीं दे पा रहा तो उसका business बंद हो गया होगा. It becomes non-performing asset. So when we say that gross non-performing asset for a bank is 10%, what does it mean? It means that if this bank has given a loan of 100 crore rupees, उसमें से 10 करोड़ लोन ऐसे 10 करोड़ रुपए के लोन ऐसे हैं which is not performing. तो एनपीए ग्रॉस एनपीए जितना ज्यादा होता है उतना प्रॉब्लमैटिक होता है. व्हाई? सी out of 100 crore rupees of loan, 10 crore is not performing. It means only 90 crores are performing. Now there may be a situation when from this 90 crore the profit that you are earning from interest, you're earning some profit, may not be as much as the losses that you are getting because of this non-performing asset. What if ये non-performing asset जो 10 crore का था ये आपको वापस मिल ही नहीं? Suman declares himself bankrupt. Today we'll understand what is insolvency and bankruptcy. Suman declares, I'm bankrupt, I do not have money. जो करना है कर लो. I do not have any property to sell. I don't have anything. बैंक का पैसा डूब गया. Suppose 10 crore वाला situation में ये हुआ. And the remaining 90 crore से बैंक earned 10% profit. 9 crore का प्रॉफिट आया, 10 करोड़ डूब गया. इस साल का लॉस कितना हो गया? 1 crore. तो जितना ज्यादा एनपीए होगा उतना ज्यादा रिस्क है बैंक के लिए. मोर द एनपीए, मोर रिस्क द बैंक इज इन. लेस द प्रॉफिट द बैंक वुड हैव. द प्रॉफिट दैट इट मे बी अर्निंग फ्रॉम अदर एसेट्स, अदर परफॉर्मिंग एसेट्स, may be compensate or may get nullified by the problems that this NPA is causing. So the total in asset ka percentage which has become non-performing is gross NPA. Right? You were saying something.
Banks also take the collateral.
Yes, bank takes the collateral, but जब आप collateral को liquidate करते हो ना, तो sometimes you're not, जैसे 10 करोड़ का collateral आप liquidate करोगे, you may only get 4 crore, 5 crore, like that. Okay, first of all ये हो गया, समझ में आया. Now this was gross NPA. This 10 crore was gross NPA. Now when an account becomes NPA, RBI mandates that there should be some provisioning. What if this account collapses? This account becomes ends without paying you your money back. You should have some provisioning done against it. So out of 10 crore, let's say government bank has done provisioning of 8 crore rupees. कि अगर 8 crore डूब भी जाते हैं तो we will be able to manage it. Net NPA would then only be 2 crores. जितना provisioning हो गया है, remove that from gross NPA, it becomes net NPA. So net NPA would be lower than gross NPA. Because provisioning होगी तो positive provisioning होगी ना. So let's come back to this. GNPA 6.9% in September 2021 and NNPA of 2.2%. Gross NPA 6.9% is a good number. There was a time जब हम 10% cross कर रहे थे. Gross NPA of 6.1% is good. Net NPA of 2.2% is also good, and they have both continued to decline since 2018-19. So our banking sector since 2018-19 is doing well. ये clear है? Now, second, restructured standard advances. What is restructured standard advances? Who'll tell me? Just raise your hands. I asked, raise your hand.
The restructuring is either reducing the interest or increasing the time limit of.
Yeah. Restructure the loan. For example, let's say Sumant को हमने 10 करोड़ रुपए का लोन दिया था, and Sumant was supposed to pay 10 lakh rupees every month for 200 months. For 200 months, Sumant was supposed to pay 10 lakh rupees every month in return. Right? But Sumant, since last 3 months, since last 90 days, has not paid this. It becomes an NPA. Sumant comes to bank and says that, सर 10 लाख रुपए पर मंथ तो नहीं दे पाऊंगा मैं, और इतना इंटरेस्ट रेट में भी नहीं दे पाऊंगा. If you do not change this, my company is going to get closed. The bank says that if we continue in the previous method, then we are losing the entire 10 crore rupees. But if we restructure the loan, that is 10 crore ka loan tha, yes, let us restructure it. Interest rate last time, if it was 12%, can we reduce the interest rate to 10%? He was supposed to pay the money back in 200 months. Can we make it 400 months? So that every month that the money this guy will have to return back would be lesser. Every month, the money that this guy will have to return back would be lesser. Interest rate would be lesser. And the time this guy has for returning back the money is much more. This is restructuring of the loan. आपका लोन था, इतने इतने पे करके आपको वापस मिलने थे पैसे, you restructured the loan. Fine, restructure. So here, restructured standard advances are such loans, and they have increased from 0.4% in 2020 to 1.5% in 2021 September. In 1 year, restructured standard advances have gone up. That is, restructured loans have gone up. Why? Because of COVID-19. Because of COVID-19, a lot of businesses were not able to pay their EMIs back in a timely manner. Government through a RBI through a notification had said that please do not declare them as NPA. There was a moratorium on, we'll understand about that moratorium also. Banks were also requested, if possible, try to finance the businesses. And for this, they restructured the loan. And you would see that though NPA has gone down, NPA has been going down in last 1 year from September 2020 to September 2021, the restructured advances have gone up. Are you really able to understand? Dekho, if you will understand entire economic survey of India, each and everything in the entire economic survey of India, I'll assure you, बहुत सारे अपने फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर जो निकले ना वो भी नहीं समझते होंगे. एक एक चीज को अच्छे से समझोगे ना तो you will be a better economist. You will be able to enter examination hall in a more confident manner because there are so many things. And that's why I keep asking you, you go through the basics wala book before the class so that in class I do not have to worry about explaining what repo rate is, what reverse repo rate is. I can explain these aspects. Fine, this is clear. Now, stressed advance ratio. Stressed advance ratio has increased to 8.5%. Now, what are stressed advance? Other than Jatin and Anvita, anyone else? Stressed advance kya hota hai? Yes. What's your name? Ankit. Then how is it different from NPA? NPA में भी तो repayment नहीं आ रहा है. An account becomes NPA after 3 months, but it becomes stressed the very first time. So you're right, this loan ka NPA, but you should be able to clearly differentiate between NPA and stress. So stressed asset would also include NPA, but stressed asset is a bigger bucket. I was supposed to pay my EMI on 1st of February. I have not paid it on 1st of February. That account becomes stressed. Does it become NPA? No. It becomes NPA if I don't do it for 3 months. So will stressed asset be always more than NPA? Yes, क्योंकि NPA तो सारा stressed है ही, उसके अलावा भी कुछ stressed होगा. Understand? एक देखो फिर से समझो कि basic concept समझने की कोशिश करो, you'll understand everything else. In exam, you'll not think random things. So here, by data also you can see that stressed advance ratio of scheduled commercial banks have gone up to 8.5%, whereas NPA is around 6%. NPA is around 6%. Okay. Why has it gone up? It's because various COVID-19 related dispensation moratoriums provided with respect to asset quality contributed to increase in RSA and as a result increase in SAR. Capital adequacy ratio. A capital adequacy ratio is a subject that we'll study in a lot of detail when very soon we'll be dealing with Basel norms. But here in a very layman language, I'll explain you what capital adequacy ratio is. Let's say Jatin wants to start a bank. Jatin goes to RBI and says that I have 100 crore rupees. I want to start a bank. RBI says, खोल लो. मिल जाती है. Jatin gets permission. So Jatin's initial capital is how much? 100 crores. And Jatin starts a bank. In this bank, he gets deposits, liabilities. He'll have to return back that deposit, and he gives loans, which are assets. Through loans, this bank would earn money. Through deposit, it will pay money to depositors. Right? Now, consider this. Suppose Jatin was very popular in Jatin's bank. We got 1 lakh crore rupees ka deposit. Capital was only 100 crore rupees, but deposit to ho sakte na 1 lakh. And Jatin has given all that 1 lakh crore rupees in loan. Some CRR and all, for now ignore all those things. Jatin has given 1 lakh crore rupees in loan. Even if 5% of this loan is not returned back, how much would be the loss that Jatin would have? 5,000 crore rupees. In this capital, 100 crore rupees, will he be able to manage that 5,000 crore rupees ka loss? No. Right? That's why what RBI puts a condition that your total loan will only be a multiple of your capital adequacy ratio. जितना आपका कैपिटल है उसका 10 times 20 times जो भी आप कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी रेशियो डालो. You cannot like just give any amount of loan. Are you getting my point? Pakka? I am trying to explain it in layman terms. We'll go to technical things when we economy basics में हम इसे पढ़ेंगे. So capital adequacy ratio is this. If we say that, let's say RBI mandates that capital adequacy ratio is 10%. It means that if your loan is of 100 crore rupees, your capital should be at least 10 crore rupees. If your loan is 1 lakh crore rupees, your capital should be at least 10,000 crore rupees. If your loan, if RBI says that capital adequacy ratio, minimum capital adequacy ratio is 10%, in that case, this should be the condition. So if I'm going with a loan of 100 crore rupees, capital of 100 crore rupees, what is the maximum loan that I'll be able to give? 1,000 crore rupees. Is it clear? Now, this was capital adequacy ratio. There's another thing called risk-weighted capital adequacy ratio. Fellas, first of all, did we all understand what capital adequacy ratio was? Now, risk-weighted capital adequacy ratio. Now, in risk-weighted capital adequacy ratio, the issue is this. Let's understand again. मैंने loan दिए हैं, but some of the loan that I have given to is to government. कैसे? In government bonds. The money that I have invested here, there is no risk there. तो इसका risk weight कितना होगा? 0. The money that I have invested in government bond, तो उस पे restriction लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Right? So there are some loans which are very risky. Suppose Jatin ends up giving loan to Vijay Mallya. One, other Jatin is investing in government bonds. So imposing restrictions on investment on government bonds would not make sense. Imposing restrictions on investment in risky assets should be controlled. तो बेसिकली जब हम बोलते हैं ना कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी रेशियो, हम उसको रिस्क वेट्स करते हैं, लाइक द एसेट्स व्हिच आर रिस्की, उसके परसेंटेज में हाउ मच कैपिटल डू यू हैव. एंड रिस्क कैन ऑल्सो बी डिफरेंट. सम एसेट मे हैव 100% रिस्क, ये तो some asset may have 50% risk, some asset may have 10% risk. If you have given loan to a company which is profitable, which is doing good, their risk would be lesser. If you are giving loan to a company which is in losses, their risk would be very high. So risk weight करके you calculate the total risk weighted asset, and in risk weighted capital adequacy ratio आपके कैपिटल का इतना ही मल्टीपल आपका रिस्क वेटेड लोन हो सकता है. फाइन. Tier 1, Tier 2 Sagar, we are not getting into technicalities right now. As I said, we will discuss these technicalities when we are coming to Basel norms. Here I just want to briefly help you understand what is capital adequacy ratio and what is risk weighted capital adequacy ratio in layman language, so that now in Economic Survey of India, when I start speaking about these things, there should be clarity. Okay. आरबीआई बैंक खुद के लिए तो कुछ भी कर लेगी ना, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट नहीं लाना है. ओके. नहीं, रिस्क का भी ना एक आरबीआई का मैकेनिज्म है. विल गेट टू दिस थिंग्स. तो capital adequacy ratio has continued to improve since 2015-16. Capital to risk weighted asset ratio of scheduled commercial banks in September 2021 was 16.54%. Capital to risk weighted asset ratio is 16.54% right now. That is, what is it trying to say? If the loans are of 100 crore rupees, banks have a capital of 16.5 crores. Risk weighted loans, I'm sorry, risk weighted loans are of 100 crore rupees. Banks have capital of 16.5 crore rupees right now. So it is better than the requirement under Basel norm, as well as the requirement which RBI has for scheduled commercial banks. And that's why we are saying that our banking sector, as per Economic Survey of India, our banking sector is doing well. Now, why has it improved? देखो, अब how would your capital improve? Suppose Jatin went with 100 crore rupees. So in 100 crore rupees, he'll perhaps be able to give loan of only 1,000 crore rupees. Then how does his business increases? From this loan of 1,000 crore rupees, he may earn some profit and he may invest that in the bank again. The initial bank capital was 1,000 crore rupees, 100 crore rupees, but he may earn 100 crore rupees in first year and add it in as capital in the bank. So capital becomes 200 crore rupees, or some other investor may come and invest in the bank and give more capital. So capital can increase in multiple ways, by profit, by investment. So how have, here we see the capital of our scheduled commercial banks are going up. How have capital of scheduled commercial banks gone up? They have gone up. For example, you'll see PSBs have received capital infusion by government. Government have invested more money in public sector banks, whereas private banks have mostly tapped capital from the market. For these reasons, capital has gone up, and thus risk weighted capital asset ratio has also gone up, which is a good thing. There's another thing called capital conservation buffer. So ye bhi hum while studying Basel norm, we'll study this, but capital conservation buffer is another mechanism to make your banking sector stable. That is, आप जितना भी लोन दे रहे हो उसका 2% आप capital conservation buffer में रखो to deal with risky situation. We'll understand capital conservation buffer in more details, but here what Economic Survey of India is saying, that all the banks have maintained 2.5% of capital conservation buffer. They've all been able to maintain that. There's no problem. The banking sector, as per Economic Survey of India, is doing well. Fine. Now, NARC, or National Asset Reconstruction Company, we have to study this. In current affairs also, it's been there. I think I've covered it in current affairs also. Kabhi August, September mein cover kiya tha, and Economic Survey of India has also talked about it. But to understand this topic here, we'll first briefly understand what a bad bank is and what is the need of a bad bank. Okay, now suppose we go to a bank, SBI, and SBI has some assets which has become non-performing. NPAs may some loan may have gone to Malya, some loan may have gone to Level Up Edutech को भी क्यों पीछे छोड़े, वैसे हमें लोन की जरूरत पड़ी नहीं, हमें कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी। ना 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 ना, ये मिसकंसेप्शन है, बहुत पैसा नहीं है, बहुत ट्रस्ट है। तो जैसे इनिशियली वी हैड प्लान्ड कि वी विल इन्वेस्ट 50 लाख रुपीस एंड समथिंग लाइक दिस इन मेकिंग दिस इंस्टीट्यूशन। What happened? We invested 1 lakh rupees to make website, and then we said that we are launching current affairs program. In the very first month, जितना पैसा हमें चाहिए था मिल गया। तो हमें our partners did not have to invest anything here. The trust that you people have posed on us has been immense. In the very first month, we were all like arranging money. मैं पापा से बोला, पापा मुझे 15 लाख रुपए चाहिए होंगे। सब all of us were trying to do that. And suddenly on 10th of October, website last year in 2020, the website went live and the program is starting on 15th of October. और आप लोगों ने ही, आप like आप में से बहुत सारे लोगों ने लास्ट ईयर भी एडमिशन दिया होगा, उसी एक महीने में इतना रेवेन्यू दे दिया कि पूरा सेटअप जो क्रिएट हुआ है, it's all from you people. It's all because of help, contribution, efforts, trust that you people have had. But let's say हम भी लेते हैं, we also become, जरूरत नहीं है पर फ्रॉड करते हैं कुछ। एंड देयर इज अनदर एनपीए, लेट्स से रिलायंस को भी बना देते हैं, है ना। नाउ एसबीआई हैज टू गेट मनी बैक फ्रॉम देम। अंबानी जी बुरा मान गए क्या ऑलरेडी? अच्छा, एसबीआई हैज टू गेट मनी बैक फ्रॉम देम, राइट? एसबीआई हैज टू गेट दैट। SBI can start, let's say, insolvency process कि माल्या की प्रॉपर्टी बेचो, कुछ वैसा करो, या फिर SBI may want to restructure the loan, या SBI may want to, there are tens of different options available. SBI may go to NCLT, National Companies Law Tribunal, that रिलायंस वाले मेरा लोन वापस नहीं कर रहे हैं, इनके एसेट बेच के मेरा लोन करवाओ। और SBI may send some गुंडास to us, इनको मार पीट के लोन दो। But in all these things, while doing all these things, SBI is diverting itself. Its core business is of banking. And it is divesting its assets in these things in which SBI has no specialization. SBI को किसी कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन करना, उसके एसेट को बेचना, उसका एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है। SBI does not have those expertise. This bad loan, यहाँ पे हम इसे bad loan बोलते हैं, these bad loans, dealing with these bad loans itself is a specialized work. And when SBI's managers, SBI's people who are involved in SBI, they start doing all these things, their core banking suffers. Moreover, their money remains stuck here. This money, if they had had this money, they would have given loan to other people. Economy would have grown, money multiplier effect would have improved. So, Government of India has envisaged a mechanism. It is creating what is called a bad bank. Bad bank because it will take the bad loans of SBI and will have the responsibility of recovering it. It will take the bad loans of SBI and will have the responsibility of recovering it. What it would do is, let's say SBI और इसमें final deal होगा कि our loan of 100 crore rupees have become an NPA, this bad bank would say, okay, 100 crore rupees. I give you 90 crore rupees. Let that be my responsibility. So SBI is able to get at least 90 crore rupees. It can focus on its core business. Instead of losing the entire 100 crore rupees or getting into that trouble, SBI got 90 crore rupees. This company got 100 crore rupees of NPA. This company got 100 crore rupees of NPA. And it is a company which is specialized in recovering loans. Its manpower is focused on those areas also, only. Its lawyers are focused on those. Its evaluators are, evaluator guys are focused on those. So will it benefit the banking sector? Yes, it will benefit the banking sector. This is something that was announced in budget 2021-22, that is last year's budget, and government has created a bad bank for India. This bad bank has two components: National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited and India Debt Resolution Company Limited. These two units of the bad bank has been created. Let's understand this. National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited. What will this do? What will National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited will do? Before what it would do, let's understand its structure. It was incorporated on 7th July 2021. It received a certificate of registration from RBI to start its business in October 2021. This NARCL, National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, 51% shares of this company is with public sector banks and remaining is with private sector banks. 51% share. So who owns this bad bank? Public sector banks and private sector banks together. 51% by public sector and 49% by private sector. Canara Bank is the sponsor bank, which has 12% equity. Rest of the PSBs would pick up less than 10% in each of the less than 10% each. So Canara Bank would remain the promoter, will remain the sponsor of NARCL. Now, it is this NARCL which will acquire stressed asset at a net book value, offering 15% of it in upfront cash and rest 85% in the security receipt. Let me explain you this. So let's say SBI has a bad loan of 100 crore rupees. So NARCL will go to them and would say 100 crore rupees. We can give to you 90 crore rupees. Of that 90 crore rupees, 15% will give you cash. That is, will directly transfer money in your account. The rest, 85%, will provide to you in securities, which eventually you will get. And those securities, government does not have any ownership in this NARCL. If you carefully see, government does not have any ownership, but government backs the security. It will guarantee the security receipt issued by NARCL, which will buy the bad loans from banks. The government is backing the security. Now, एक prelims के लिए ये भी fact याद रखना है कि PM Nair has been appointed as the managing director of this NARCL. Fine. So first of all, did you understand what NARCL is? NARCL is that component of this bad bank which will be acquiring bad loans from banks. NARCL will be acquiring bad loans from banks. Now, another body, Idrcl. It was incorporated on 3rd of September 2021. यहाँ पे 51% ownership is of private banks and remaining 49% is of public sector banks. उल्टा, जो ऊपर हो रहा था उसका उल्टा. Fine. Now, the relation between NARCL and NARCL was responsible for acquiring the asset, acquiring the bad asset. IDCRL is responsible for resolving it. चाहे लिक्विडेट करना है, बेचना है, जो भी करना है, रिकवर करना है, it is this body IDCR which will be responsible for doing it, and the relationship between these two will be defined through a debt management agreement, where in NARCL will aggregate and acquire the stressed asset, and IDRCL in turn will provide stressed asset management and resolution services to NARCL. So NARCL is acquiring the stressed asset and IDRCL is trying to resolve that stressed asset. So resolution mechanism kya rahega? They will go through what is called Swiss challenge. So let me explain you what Swiss challenge is. You know, there are already, so this is kind of an asset reconstruction company. आप देखो NARCL, ARC is asset reconstruction company. Asset, when asset becomes non-performing, उसे reconstruct करना, उसे recover करना is the work of asset reconstruction company. Now we already have a number of private asset reconstruction companies in the country. 25 private asset reconstruction companies hain, but the amount of capital that they have, the amount of resources that they have is very less, and that's why they are not able to deal with big issues, big concerns which are there. So now here what would happen? NARCL, SBI 100 CR लोन, SBI का 100 CR का लोन था जो कि has become NPA. NARCL offers 90 crores. This we have been doing so far. NARCL offers 90 crore. Will this directly go to NARCL? No. SBI with this offer will go to other ARCs, and we would say NARCL is offering me this, can you offer me something better? This is called Swiss challenge. You get the offer and you go with that offer to other banks if you can get something better. Let's come back here. This is something that is written here also. NARCL will acquire assets by making an offer to the lead bank. Now sometimes NPAs ना बहुत सारे banks मिलके loan दिए होते हैं, वो NPA बनता है, तो lead bank वैसे. And the lead bank with an offer in hand, lead bank, let's say SBI, with an offer in hand of NARCL, it has offer from NARCL, will run a Swiss challenge process wherein other interested ARCs bidders will be invited to better the anchor offer made by NARCL. So if the offer of NARCL remains the best, it will get the assets. Once NARCL is declared as the preferred bidder, NARCL shall initiate asset acquisition process and acquire the assets in the underlying trust. The company will pick up those assets that are 100% provided by the lender. Like if there's a loan of 100 crore rupees which has become NPA, if all that loan is provided, only then NARCL is going to pick up the asset. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि oh you take only the 50 crore rupee NPA, 50 crore we will ourselves recover. This would not happen. Pura 100 crore you'll have to give to them. After acquiring the assets, NARCL has acquired the asset. Now comes the role of IDRCL. It shall prepare and suggest the proposed restructuring or resolution plan, strategies, etc. This proposal would go to again NARCL. If it approves this proposal, then IDRCL shall also assist in implementation of resolution. The asset required shall be resolved using existing resolution tools within the RBI framework for ARCs. So bad bank and what kind of two institution system that India has created in 2021. Now while covering this, while covering the banking sector in the basic economy thing, I'll not cover all this stuff. Okay, वहां पे मेरा focus regional rural bank क्या होता है इन सब चीजों पे रहेगा. I'll not cover all these stuff. All these stuff you should do very carefully here. Fine. Bad bank is understood. These two institutions, how they would function, how they are related, how the NPA would come from SBI to these. This is very well understood. नहीं नहीं सबके लिए भाई, प्राइवेट सेक्टर भी इसमें कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है, 49% ओनरशिप इज विद प्राइवेट सेक्टर, व्हाई डिस्क्रिमिनेट अगेंस्ट देम? ना व्हाई डू यू थिंक कि ओनली पब्लिक सेक्टर? फाइन, डन, समझ में आ रही हैं चीजें? पक्का? ओके। Not necessarily. No. Yes. Deposit insurance in India. Let's do deposit insurance, then we'll take a break. Okay. शुरू में आप लोगों को थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम झेलनी पड़ी है, तो मैंने आप सब लोगों के लिए गाजर का हलवा मंगाया है, तो आ गया होगा तो बता देंगे, ठीक है? तो अभी ऑनलाइन वाले नाराज मत होना यार, तुम्हारे लिए भिजवा दूंगा मैं, फोटोज भिजवा देंगे। Aris is asking a question, sir, why did we create two institutions? देखो, assume this, we would have created bad bank, उसमें दो डिपार्टमेंट बना देते. It's something similar. One is responsible for getting the asset, other is focused on recovery. It's like that only. Okay. Yes. Yes, दोनों देखो, the term of IDRCL will be coterminous with the first body. Why? Because they're both together are forming what is called bad bank. One will get the loan, other will resolve it. If 5 years down the line government realizes, okay, NPA problem is done, it's not a big deal, let us end this. Both.
coterminous with NARCL, इसका ये मतलब है कि हर NPA प्रोजेक्ट के लिए वो एक स्पेशल हर बार नया बनता है? नहीं,
वो नहीं है, फिर तो वही प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है ARC वाली. Okay, let's come back to deposit insurance in India. You have some doubt? What's your name? Vishnu, tell me.
Sir, the resolution process which Dsap always under IBC or it is?
No, it is under the system of ARC, which is how asset reconstruction companies are supposed to work under RBI. It is under that, but they may take insolvency and bankruptcy code mechanism. So ARCs are allowed to go to IBC mechanism. Okay, we'll study about IBC again. You'll understand it more there. Vishnu, right? Okay. Deposit insurance in India. Okay, let's understand deposit insurance. Now, deposit insurance is another thing which Economic Survey of India में दिया हुआ था, but because it's an important topic, I have elaborated upon it so that you do not have to refer to anything else. This section of the notes would be enough. So I have added, generally what I do, Economic Survey of India में जो चीज दी हुई है उसे कम करते हैं, only relevant portion निकालते हैं. Here I have added some more portion from outside to make it complete. जैसे bad bank वाला topic, I have added some more portion from outside to make it complete. किसका कितना ownership रहेगा and all those kind of things. When was the company established? When was it incorporated? Those things I've added so that your one source should remain our notes. Like the things that we are doing in current affairs program should be enough for you for your examination. You should not need to refer to any other source. Kim Thomas is saying I need chocolate. एक तो ये YouTube वालों का पता नहीं कि मेरे स्टूडेंट्स हैं भी या नहीं. Okay, सब ना like for all of you who are students in Level Up IAS, सब लोग मुझे मैसेज कर देना कि सर मुझे चॉकलेट चाहिए, मुझे 15 लाख रुपए चाहिए. You know मैं क्यों 15 लाख रुपए वाला प्रॉमिस लेके आ रहा हूँ, है ना? तो जिसको जो चाहिए वो बता देना, इलेक्शन के बाद सब पूरा हो जाएगा. नहीं, but you people will get. देखो, for those of you who were watching online and who were getting irritated at that time, for them they were sitting at their homes, they could do whatever they want, but you people came here, एक छोटे से रूम में सफोकेट हो रहे हो, तो थोड़ा सा बनता है ना? चलिए, if it was Sunday I would have taken you for lunch. मतलब अगर आगे क्लास नहीं होती I would have taken you all for lunch. Deposit insurance in India. Let's talk about deposit insurance. To understand deposit insurance, understand this. Let's say Jatin had started a bank, right? Jatin ने बैंक शुरू किया था. नहीं आपके पीछे जतिन है. Jatin had started a bank, Jatin Bank, है ना? While he is running a bank, he is also preparing for civil services. दोनों में से कुछ भी नहीं कर पाएगा, ना बैंक अच्छे से चलेगा ना सिविल सर्विसेज की तैयारी अच्छे से होगी. But there were a lot of depositors who came and deposited the money, and Jatin's का बैंक डूब गया. Jatin is not in a position to return back the money to depositors. What is the protection available to depositors? This available protection to depositors in case the bank ends, like bank is not able to return their money back, bank is going to get closed, bank is not able to function. The protection that is available to them is called deposit insurance. India has a mechanism of deposit insurance that if you have deposited money in the bank, it is protected. If you have 2 lakh rupees in a bank and kal wo bank band ho jata hai because its business was not doing well and your 2 lakh rupees is stuck there, it's not stuck. You'll get your 2 lakh rupees back along with your interest. You'll get it back. India mein deposit insurance mechanism, or all over the world the deposit insurance mechanism would do that. There are some, before going to deposit insurance, there is some doubt. Keegan has asked, sir, what if another ARC offers a better offer under Swiss challenge? Would Idrcl still? No. If another ARC offers a better offer, it buys the bad loan. The role of both these institutions end there only. That business has not come to us. Done. Okay. Here, NARCL or IDRCL will not have any role to play. Motivational India is saying, sir, मैं आ रहा हूं. अबे हाँ? तो अब आएगा तो भगा देंगे उसे. Okay. So this protection that is available is called deposit insurance, and deposit insurance in India is provided by Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. This is the body, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, which is a fully owned subsidiary of RBI, which provides this insurance. Now, if it provides this insurance, it should get some premium also. When LIC provides you life insurance, then you monthly pay some premium. Only then, in case you die, your children would get, your parents would get the insurance cover, right? When you take accidental insurance, you pay some premium so that when accident occurs, you'll be able to get accidental cover. The premium is paid by banks to this body. Earlier, the premium used to be 0.1%. For 100 rupees of deposit, you pay 10 paisa. So that if that 100 rupees is lost, because of this 10 paisa premium, the entire 100 rupees would be given back to depositors by this Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. Fine. This is understood? Okay. So, where were we? So we have understood how deposit insurance functions in India. This body, a subsidiary of RBI, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, which is responsible for doing it. Now, under this act, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Act, the corporation is liable to pay insured deposit in following situations. When a bank goes through the liquidation process. Jatin का बैंक डूब गया, तो जतिन की प्रॉपर्टीज को बेचा जाएगा and all. From that, some money may be given back to depositors, but even then, depositors will not be able to get all their money back. So in this situation, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation would come and pay money to depositors. Second, bank goes reconstruction or any other arrangement under the scheme where they are not able to pay the money back to depositors, and bank goes through merger or acquisition by another bank says that Jatin डूब गया है, I'll take over that bank, but I'm not responsible for depositors. If that is the scenario, if that is the condition, then deposit insurance is there. Your deposit is protected by deposit insurance and credit guarantee. बात समझ में आ रही है? पक्का? Okay. Now, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation came into existence in 1978 by merger of two bodies, Deposit Insurance Corporation and Credit Guarantee Corporation. These were two different subsidiaries under RBI. Both of them were merged in 1978 to form Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. Prelims ke liye I have just added it here. Okay, these details were not there in Economic Survey of India, but I felt that these are certain things that you should know for your complete preparation. Now, this insurance cover is available to whom? It's available to commercial banks, including small financial bank, payment bank, and Indian branches of foreign banks. तो जो US के banks हैं, उनके जो Indian branches हैं, even there, if you deposit money, you are protected. Regional rural banks, local area banks, cooperative banks are also protected. What is not all bank deposits, be it in saving account, be it in current account, be it in fixed deposit account, all those kind of things would be protected. However, what is not protected? Deposit of central, state, or foreign government in banks is not protected. Deposit of common citizens are protected, companies are protected, but governments, foreign government, Indian government, state government, it's not protected. Interbank deposits, call money rate, अभी हम बात कर रहे थे, एक बैंक से दूसरे बैंक, that is not protected. Deposits of the state land development banks with the state cooperative banks are also not protected. तो ये दोबारा से ये चीज पता नहीं क्यों लिखी है यहाँ पे. Now, budget 2020-21, that is last year जो budget आया था, it increased the deposit insurance. अच्छा, before understanding this, understand this. Suppose I have 100 crore rupees deposit in bank. कुछ भी लिख देते ना. Suppose I have 10 lakh rupees of deposit in bank. Suppose I have 10 lakh rupees of deposit in bank. If that bank, Jatin's bank, closes tomorrow, is Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation going to return me the entire 10 lakh rupees? No. Before 2020-21, the maximum protection that was available was 1 lakh rupees. Up to 1 lakh rupees, aapka deposit is insured, is protected. Beyond that, it's not. So if I have 10 lakh rupees, I'll only get back 1 lakh rupees as insurance cover. Remaining 9 lakh डूब रहे हैं. Remaining 9 lakh पे there is no cover available. There's no cover available. Right? But there's a problem. It means a lot of bank deposits was not covered under insurance. So last year, in 2020-21, government announced that this deposit cover would increase from 1 lakh to 5 lakh. So now, at present situation, if I have 10 lakh rupees deposited in Jatin's bank, which is going to go bust, 5 lakh is protected. Deposit up to 5, deposit plus interest and everything milake, up to 5 lakh, it is protected as per the current norms. So budget 2020-21 increased the deposit insurance to 5 lakh. This is the first time since 1993 that the deposit insurance cover has been raised. In 1993, the insurance cover was revised from rupees 30,000 to rupees 1 lakh. So 1993 mein, from 30,000 to 1 lakh, now it has been raised to 5 lakh. In 2020, it has been raised to 5 lakh. Fine. Now with this 5 lakh coverage, 98.3% of all deposits accounts are fully covered. That is, more than 98% of the deposit accounts have less than 5 lakh rupees in them. So 98% of the deposit accounts are fully covered. And 50% of the deposit value are covered. What does it tell you? Those 1% of the bank account have around 50% of the deposit value wise. Very few bank accounts have all the money. Most of the bank accounts do not have even 98, more than 98% of the bank account in India do not have more than 5 lakh rupees, and they are all fully protected. This coverage is better than the global mandate. Globally, deposit insurance coverage is only 80%. In case of India, it has gone to 98%. And in terms of value, the global coverage is only 20-30%. In case of India, it has gone to 50%. When compared to global scenario, our deposit insurance cover, both in terms of the number of accounts which are fully covered, plus the value that is fully protected, is way better. Gaurav Dhiman, Kim Thomas is saying, I'll come. अच्छा चॉकलेट के आ जाओगे, आ जाओ. गौरव धिमान इज सेइंग नहीं मिलेगी. नहीं नहीं मिल जाएगी यार, जब हम बोलते हैं तो मिल जाती है, मजाक नहीं करते. वी हैव गॉन ऑन ट्रीट्स इन द पास्ट आल्सो. पिज्जा खाने कौन कौन गया था? अन्विता का तो बर्थडे था उस दिन. वी आफ्टर क्लास वी वेंट फॉर पिज्जा. आफ्टर पिज्जा शी सेड सर मेरा बर्थडे आज. व्हाट वाज द डेट बेटा, आपको याद होगा? 21st November. Okay. This is understood, but even after this, there were problems. Those problems have been changed by 2021 amendments, which was given in Economic Survey of India. What were the problems? Problem was this. Suppose I have invested in Jatin's bank. Jatin's bank goes, or Jatin bank is not doing well. Jatin did some fraud. RBI imposes moratorium. No one would be able to withdraw more than 5,000 rupees from their account. Now I'm an honest person who has deposited my money in that bank account and I need my money 1 lakh rupees right now. मुझे शादी करनी है, मुझे चाहिए 1 लाख रुपए. भाई बेटा होने के 10 रुपए में हो जाएगी. मतलब हाँ, डोंट वरी, मेरी शादी में कोई अनाप शनाप पैसा खर्च नहीं होगा. रजिस्ट्रेशन में जितने लगते हैं ना उतने ही लगेंगे. मैं ऐसे फालतू चीजों में भरोसा ही नहीं करता कि पैसे खर्च करूं मैं उन बेवकूफ रिश्तेदारों के लिए जिनको मैंने जीवन भर देखा नहीं है. मैं सीरियसली जस्ट इमेजिन, आपकी शादी में इतने रिश्तेदार आते हैं, ये सब होते हैं और सब नाक मुंह सिकोड़ते हैं और अलग ड्रामा होता है. शादी आपके एंजॉयमेंट के लिए होनी चाहिए और 3-4 दिन आपके स्ट्रेस वाले जाते हैं. माय यंगर ब्रदर गॉट मैरिड इन 2019. वो 4 दिन ऐसे बीते थे ना. अभी तो उससे पहले वी यूज्ड टू गो टू दोस्तों की शादी, एंजॉय करके आ जाते थे. वो 4 दिन ऐसे बीते थे, मैंने कहा कभी जीवन में ना करूंगा ऐसी शादी. सीरियसली सिंपल कोर्ट मैरिज होनी चाहिए रजिस्ट्रेशन से. मतलब इफ यू वांट टू स्पेंड 20 लाख रुपीस, भाई सेव दैट मनी विद यू. हर साल हनीमून के लिए यूरोप जाओ ना. व्हाई वेस्ट दैट मनी ऑन स्टूपिड पीपल? Arranging hotel for them, arranging car for them, arranging food for them. Why? When you can do it for yourself. है ना? तो मेरा सजेशन होगा सब लोग यही करना. बिना वजह ना चकाचौंध के चक्कर में अपने हार्ड अर्न्ड मनी बर्बाद करते हैं, वो मत करो. मेरी तो हार्ड अर्न्ड है भाई, मैं नहीं करने वाला. अपना क्या कंसाइंस कलेक्टिव बिल्ड होता है क्या, मुझे समझ में नहीं है. अच्छा, सोसाइटी में सॉलिडारिटी आती है. पता नहीं, बाकी तरीकों से कर लेंगे हम सॉलिडारिटी. अच्छा, मतलब आप चाहते हैं कि आलीशान शादी हो? बेटा मेरी तो नहीं होगी. लेट्स कम बैक टू दिस. तो इन स्पाइट ऑफ ऑल दिस, अब मुझे शादी करनी थी, मुझे 1 लाख रुपए चाहिए थे और मेरा हार्ड अर्न्ड मनी उस बैंक में था. एंड आरबीआई इंपोजेस मॉरेटोरियम, नो वन कैन विड्रॉ मोर देन 5,000 रुपीज. What was my fault? भैया मेरा पैसा क्यों फंसा दिया? So to deal with this situation in 2021, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation Amendment Act was passed. What did this amendment do? The first thing that this amendment do, it introduced interim payments. That is, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation will give me my 1 lakh rupees. बैंक अभी बस नहीं हुआ है, डूबा नहीं है. but even in, because I'm not able to withdraw my money from there, because I'm not able to get my money from there, my money is stuck there. After this amendment, interim money, interim payment will be made by DICGC to depositors of those banks for whom any restriction moratorium has been imposed by RBI under the Banking Regulation Act. This is the most important reform. Now my money is not stuck. You're saying something?
So do they have to go to another office?
Another office? I haven't looked into the process how that would happen, but the law says that DIGC would be responsible for giving that money within 90 days. We are coming to rest of, yes, within 90 days. We'll come to that, rest of the things. 30 साल रुक लिए, 90 दिन और रुक जाएंगे. Okay, timeline for interim payment. This interim payment, देखो, clear cut timeline of 90 days, maximum 90 days. So within the first 45 days, the insured bank must furnish the detail of all outstanding deposit to the corporation. Jatin's bank will give details of outstanding deposit to the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. Within 30 days of receipt of the details, corporation will verify the authenticity of the claims. And within 15 days of verification, corporation must make the payment to such depositor. So maximum 90 days में I'll be able to get my money. It may be 3 days also. पहले दिन ही बैंक ने वो दे दिया, पहले दिन ही इसने वेरीफाई कर लिया, पहले दिन ही पेमेंट कर दी. So it may happen very quickly also. तो 90 days की वजह कम में भी हो जाएगा. But this has been done. Are you seeing the major reform that is taking place? Major change that has taken place. हाँ, yes, जो insured amount है उतनी हो जाएगी. अगर आपको उतनी चाहिए तो आपको उतने पैसे. नहीं, insured तो 5 ही है ना, 5 ही होगी भाई. हाँ, this is only insurance. Only the insurance amount would be done by the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. No, why would it give more money? पता नहीं. अच्छा. Repayment by banks to DICGC. Now see, understand this. The bank has been put under moratorium. The bank has not gone bust. If the bank has not gone bust, in that situation, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation was not supposed to pay the money. Insurance तभी ले आएगा ना जब पैसे डूब गए. But here, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation has paid the money. The bank has to repay the money once it is able to revive. So DICGC may defer repayments due to it from an insured bank after insurance payout on terms decided by DICGC's board. Achha, DICGC may also defer the payment. It is in spirit with the rationale of interim payments, that is to help depositors while also enabling rescue efforts for the bank. So they may have to pay the money, but DICGC may defer it also to help revive the bank. Okay, now timely repayment by the bank to to establish a priority of repayment to DIGC, both interest and principal, a provision of penal interest in case of delay has been put in the act. If the bank is not paying the premium amount in a timely manner, if bank is not paying the money to DICGC in a timely manner, uspe interest rate wale provisions have been introduced, and then there is no ceiling on the premium. Earlier there was a ceiling ki if 100 rupees are being deposited, 0.1%, that is 10 paise will be the insurance. It will not be more than that. Or 0.15%, 15 paise would be the insurance premium, not more than that. But now that has been done away with. The law says that RBI, now the ceiling on the premium would be notified by DICGC with the prior approval of RBI. So DICGC would decide what will be the premium amount and it will be approved by RBI. These are the changes which have been made in the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation Act, Amendment Act 2021. Right? Chaliye, should we take a break? Ek half an hour ka break lete hain, then we'll gather again for 1 hour or so and we'll do the remaining sections. Okay, so what is the time right now? 1:53, no? 1:50, 2:20 tak, na? Welcome back. We'll start rest of the portion. कम से कम 1 घंटा और पढ़ेंगे because I had said कि नहीं 4 PM तक शायद हमने क्लास रखा ना, तो 1.5 hours we will study. अच्छा, am I going very slow? ऐसा है क्या? Am I going slowly? Economic Survey of India पढ़ाते time, am I going slowly or is the pace okay? It's fine. Like people who are watching it online, please let me know. मुझे थोड़ा जल्दी जाना है. What I try to do is, I try to treat myself as a student, and as a student, every term that I would have liked to understand, I try to explain those to you people. I know that most of you may be knowing those terms, but it kind of ensures that even a layman would be able to understand Economic Survey of India when we are covering it here. Okay, so even for people who are online, if you find that it is slow, you can let me know. Pranjali Khandekar is saying it is slow. Okay. ठीक है, थोड़ा तेज. I'll try to be a bit more fast. Okay, so let's go to the next topic: banking credit growth. Now, see, during COVID-19, when businesses were not going on, the loans which bank give would go down. That is something that you would see happening here. Or in general, when economy was not doing well, but more importantly, when you come here, February, April, May, here you'll see this decline happening. But now the banking credit growth is trying to go up. Okay. Digital payments. There are 3 things: UPI. Acha, others are saying, Pratibha is saying it's fine. Khyati is saying the pace is good, sir. Conceptual clarity is also revised. Vidyut is saying, yes, sir, you can go a little bit faster. It will save our time. Busy Bee is saying it's fine. ठीक है, mixed. Okay. Digital payments. So we want to understand 3 different mechanisms here. UPI, or rather than understand, we here in case of digital payment, we'll just look at the updates, what are happening. UPI, IMPS, जहाँ पे internet से when you transfer money, use the IMPS mechanism, and the e-rupee thing that has been brought recently. We will briefly talk about what it is. Detail may we'll study it when we are covering it in economy. Here we are only covering what is mentioned in the ESI. So if you look at UPI may only in December 2021, 4.6 billion, 1 billion is 100 crore. So 460 crore transactions have happened only in 2021, worth 8.26 lakh crore rupees. Now, one of the main goals of UPI was to reduce cash transaction. And what you would see is most of the payments which UPI is being made under UPI, but like 50% of the transactions through UPI were below 200. It clearly tells you that yes, what is happening? Cash is being replaced. Rather than paying in cash to your vegetable vendor, to your momo vendor, to your bookshop person, we are more and more using UPI. Isme we have been successful. Then the transaction limit for UPI was also changed. Earlier, it was increased by RBI from 1 lakh to 2 lakh, but in December 2021, it has been increased to 5 lakh. So in your exam, you may be given a statement that the transaction limit for UPI is 2 lakh rupees, or the maximum transaction the UPI can be 2 lakh rupees only. So know that it has been updated to 5 lakh rupees. Basically, UPI has been built over IMPS. So whatever transaction limit update happens in IMPS, same could be brought under UPI. Like right now, IMPS ka transaction limit is 5 lakh rupees. So UPI ka it cannot be 10 lakh rupees. It has to be maximum 5 lakh rupees. In fact, there are UPI is also broadening its domain. It's now being used by other countries. For example, you would see that RBI and the Monetary Authority of Singapore have announced a project to link UPI and Pay Now, which is targeted for operationalizing by June 2022. Similarly, Bhutan has recently become the first country to adopt UPI standards for its QR codes. Another real-time fund transfer mechanism is the IMPS mechanism. And in October 2021, the daily limit for IMPS transaction was increased from 2 lakh to 5 lakh. After this increase happens, UPI can increase its limit because UPI has been built over it. So in December, UPI increased it to 5 lakh rupees daily transaction limit. Okay. Then e-rupee. E-rupee, though we'll study it in detail, यहाँ पे देखो e-rupee में UPI is there. It is RUPI. RUPI. Now, what is e-rupee? Under e-rupee mechanism, the idea is to promote a person-specific, purpose-specific digital voucher. So basically, under this system, what would happen is like, let's say the government of India wants to give Anvita 1,000 rupees for buying books. So far, what it used to do was government used to transfer 1,000 rupees in Anvita's account. Now, Anvita, rather than buying books, was spending that money on makeup. And government could not control it. They just transferred the money. But when using the e-rupee voucher, they would do it. The money would only be usable for buying books. These vouchers would be person specific as well as purpose specific. She would not be able to buy it, use that money for any other purpose. This is the core difference between UPI में जो transaction हो रहा है and e-rupee mechanism में जो transaction हो रहा है. Did you get it? This core difference, understand this core difference for now. We'll study e-rupee in much more detail when we are covering it in current affairs. Now, there's one more thing that you should remember. For UPI transaction, you need smartphones. Here, you do not need smartphones. Even using your basic phones, this voucher mechanism could be used. Now, the next thing that we want to look at is digital payment index. So digital payment index of RBI measures the digitization of payment across the country. And as per the latest data by RBI, the digital payment index in India has increased to 304.06 from 100. So it has become 3 times from between 2018 to 2021. The digital payment index, or digitization of payment, is increasing in the country as per this. And how is this measured? It is measured based on these 5 parameters, like payment enablers, payment infrastructure supply side, and payment infrastructure demand side was the earlier one, payment performance, and consumer centricity. So basically, the mechanisms that are being there, are they consumer centric? From user side, are they able to use it? From taker side, from the people who take money, whether UPI or other digital mechanisms available? All these criteria are taken into consideration to develop that index, and as per that index, India may digitization of payment is increasing. It has gone up from 2018. So 2018 we had given a score of 100 because it was the base year. So from that base year, it has become 300 now. Okay, now NBFCs, non-banking financial sector. So we know that non-banking financial sector in 18-19 faced a lot of issues. When one of the major NBFC companies में problem आई थी, what was the ILFS 3 company problem आई थी, उसके बाद से NBFC sector was facing a lot of problems, and that's why when you look at credit growth from NBFCs, see 2018-19 के बाद the drastic reduction in the NBFC's credit to GDP ratio, like the loans which NBFCs have given and the total GDP of the country. NBFC's credit to GDP ratio has been going up. It reduced in 2020. We can understand the logic, and uske baad bhi abhi bhi it has gone up. This credit to GDP ratio is called credit intensity. Now, if you want to look at broadly where do money from NBFCs go, then you can see that most of the money by NBFC go to industry. 40% of the money in September 2021 from NBFC had gone to industry. Rest were retail loan, services, other non-food credit, and agriculture and allied activities. So agriculture and allied activities get very less amount. So in exam, if they tell you that agriculture and allied loans are one of the major components of NBFC credit, you should be able to clearly know कि नहीं, NBFCs, non-banking financial companies, are also giving most of their money to industries. Okay, now banking sector mein we have seen that gross NPA has gone down, NNPA has gone down, but NBFC mein that has not been happening. You see that GNPA when compared to 2021 September has increased from 6.06 last year to in 2020 to 6.55 in 2021. NPA has gone up. NNPA has again increased. It was, oh no, sorry, it has remained same. It was 2.93% in September 2021 and was also 2.93% in March 2021. Capital to risk-weighted asset ratio has stood at 26.64% against the regulatory requirement of 15%. So RBI says that your capital to risk-weighted asset ratio should be 15%, but NBFCs ke case mein they have maintained much higher capital to risk-weighted asset ratio. Fine. These are just updates. Isme kuch conceptual. All the understanding part were there in the first section. Here, most of the things are very conceptual, so it would not be an issue. Dikshit is asking, sir, what is bank credit growth? Beta, bank credit is loan that bank is giving. So how much loan? At what rate loan is increasing? Let's say last year, all the banks together gave 100 crore rupees of loan. That much money went into the economy in terms of loan. This year, it is 110 crore rupees. So growth is 10%. That is bank credit growth. Now let's talk about. Sir, ये सारे data नहीं data याद नहीं रखने. I keep on telling you data याद नहीं रखने हैं. Data हम मेंस के टाइम एक डेटा याद रखते हैं अपने इंट्रोडक्शन में डालने के लिए. एक एनपीए पे क्वेश्चन आ गया तो we will be able to say according to Economic Survey of India currently इतना एनपीए है. For prelims, do not remember these data. Understand the pattern. NPAs for scheduled commercial banks have been going down. Understand that pattern. NPAs for NBFCs, when compared to last year, have gone up. Capital to risk-weighted asset ratio for our scheduled commercial banks is good. Has been going up. Even for NBFCs, it's good. It's way more than what is required. ये pattern समझना है. One more reason why I'm a bit like some people may find me a bit slow is like I'm trying to visualize you these patterns. Like when we say it again and again, you will be able to, you will not forget it till examination. अच्छा यार ये तो NPA तो definitely कम हुआ ही है. NPA has gone down, but not in case of NBFCs. NBFCs में GNPA has increased slightly when compared to last year. Okay, now factoring, एक और conceptual things. Let me briefly explain you what factoring is. Suppose we have a small company. Again, let's say Level Up Edutech. This is our company. We have provided some service. Let's say we provided some service to Reliance Industries. And we raised an invoice of 100 crore rupees. But Reliance is not giving us our money, delaying it or doing certain things. Now, if we start focusing on how to recover the money and all, our normal service would suffer. Moreover, if we have provided service of 100 crore rupees and if we do not have money, it means we do not have money to pay to our employees and provide further service. For us, getting this money is very important. Only then we do not have huge bank balance which Reliance has. If it does not get money from some of its customers, that's okay for it. So for MSME sector, for small sector, this money should be made available in a timely manner. And for this, a factoring mechanism has been brought in. Under this, I go to a factor who would say 100 crore rupees. Okay, I'll give you 99 crore rupees right now. Let me take the money from Reliance. Reliance would give it 10 days later, 15 days later, 1 month later. Let me worry about that. So I get my money immediately. I can run my business. I can take care of my things. Factor is able to do rest of the things. ठीक है? Where's your mask? भाई मास्क लगा लो सब लोग ना. सब लोग मास्क लगा के बैठेंगे और एक एक चेयर छोड़ के बैठेंगे. Did you understand the purpose of factoring? Okay. Now, factoring had certain problems in India, and Economic Survey of India is talking about those problems and resolving those problems. But first, once you have understood this, let's go back to our notes. Factoring is an important source of liquidity, especially for MSME sector. Under this, an entity sells its receivables. My receivable was my invoice. I'm selling my receivable due from a customer to a third party, which is called a factor. This factor may be a bank or NBFC for immediate funds. Do you all understand this first paragraph? In a very simple terms, do you understand it? Now, invoice could be sold completely or it could be sold partly. I have to take 100 crore rupees from Reliance. I'll say I'm only selling this invoice partly. I give me 50 crore rupees as soon as possible. 50 crore I can take from Reliance a month later. So it could be sold partially, it could be sold completely. But now, how is this different from bill discounting? I take my bill, get it discounted from someone else. How is it different from bill discounting? There's a slight difference here. In case of factoring, factor takes on the responsibility for the collection of invoice. So जो company ने मेरा invoice खरीदा है, it is that company's responsibility that it will take money from Reliance. But in the bill discounting mechanism, what happens? I have the responsibility. A certain percentage of total outstanding, in most cases, the seller must take on the responsibility of payment of invoice by the buyer to the factor. So I was the seller, Reliance was the buyer. I have to take the responsibility from to ensure that Reliance is paying money to the factor. Whereas in case of factoring, it is factor's responsibility to take money from Reliance. In this way, it is slightly different from the bill discounting system. Fine. ये वाली बात समझ में आ रही है? Dikshit ji has asked, sir, why GNP ratio in NBFC increasing compared to banks? NBFCs, as we said, went through a major crisis. So their non-performing assets were slightly higher. Okay. Factoring regulation in India. In India, to regulate this factoring thing, in 2011, we came up with Factoring Regulation Act. Under this, 4 types of businesses have been allowed to participate in factoring work. One is bank, statutory corporations, NBFCs, and companies. But as per the Act, only those NBFCs can participate in factoring whose principal business is that of factoring. That is, if let's say Jatin Bank wants to participate in this factoring thing, wants to become a factor, in that case, Jatin has to show that my important or my primary work is that of factoring. My primary work is not of banking, is not of providing loans. My primary work is of factoring. The primary reason for which I started this company was factoring. And how would he be able to show it? Most of my income is coming from factoring. So financial assets in the factoring business constitute at least 50% of the total asset, and income derived from factoring business is not less than 50% of the company's gross income. Those companies would be having principal business of factoring. And as per this law, the 2011 law, Factoring Regulation Act, only these principal businesses are allowed to participate in factoring. अब देखो बहुत सारी NBFCs हैं which may want to participate in factoring, but they would not be able to because their principal business is not that of factoring. The principal business is not that of factoring, right? So far, only 7 NBFCs are able to participate in factoring business. They're called NBFC factors. Can Bank Factors, India Factoring and Finance, SBI Global Factors, Siemens Factoring, BB Financial Services, IFCI Factors, and Pinnacle Capital Solutions. They are principal factor. They are primary factors or principal businesses which are dealing in factoring only. But ये तो problem है. Like Bajaj Finance tomorrow decides that I would also participate in factoring. It has resources, it has manpower, it has everything. but it will not be allowed to participate in factoring. This मैंने यहाँ रेड में डाला है to show that this is a limitation. The principal business restriction on NBFCs in the Act had limited the scope of factoring. Okay, so in 2019, एक MSME को how MSME sector could be reformed और how MSME sector को अच्छे से support मिल सके, उसके लिए एक कमिटी बनी थी, UK सिन्हा कमिटी. It had to suggest long-term measures for economic and financial stability of MSME sector. One of its suggestion was liberalization of factoring business. How the factoring business would be liberalized? उसके लिए to implement the liberalization of factoring business, government passed Factoring Regulation Amendment Act 2021. Factoring Regulation Amendment Act 2021. Under this, first major change that was made was principal business criteria is done away with. Now, even if my principal business is not that of factoring, I can participate in the factoring business. This is the most important change. Fine. सबको समझ में आया? What has happened? What was the issue? What is factoring? How is it different from bill discounting? देखो, most of the time the small MSME sector is not able to get interest from big businesses. So it's important that उनको पैसा जल्दी से जल्दी मिल जाए. Again, what I'm trying to say here is, for MSME sector, when I'm dealing with Reliance, I will not argue with Reliance for interest and all. The reason being, I want business from it in future also. Okay, so rather than 100 crore rupees from Reliance, I take 99 crore rupees from the factor. Factor will get 100 crore from Reliance and it will thus earn 1 crore ka profit. That's how factor earns the money. That's why factor is interested. And because I needed money right now to buy raw material for rest of the things, I did it here. It's clear. The first major reform that has happened is this. Other than some general reforms have happened. आप एक बार खुद से पढ़ेंगे इसे, आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. But the major issue was this. Development in capital market. Capital market. Acha, what is the difference between capital market and money market? Long term. Like when you take money from bank, no, it is for shorter period. जैसे 5 साल के लिए लोगे, 10 साल के लिए लोगे, 1 साल के लिए लोगे, 20 साल के लिए लोगे. But when you go to capital market, stock exchange, suppose today we decide that we want to do IPO of Level Up, and IPO valuation comes to be 50 crore rupees. In that case, 50% of हम अपने shares बेच रहे हैं, we will get 25 crore rupees. Now, the share someone has bought, that person may on Bombay Stock Exchange may sell share to someone else. All those things may keep happening, but the company got 25 crore rupees. And this investment is not for 5 year, 10 year, 20, it's for very long term. Okay, this is one core difference between getting money from bank or from any other mechanism. Okay, one aspect is this. Now, in capital market, this was here you sold your shares. And this was also capital market. You got money, you raised money from the capital market. Another mechanism is you go for long-term bonds, government bonds, 10 saal wale, 20 saal wale. They are also dealt with in capital market. Got the point? So what has happened in Bombay Stock Exchange, what has happened in NSE, what has happened in other capital markets of India, uske updates is something that we're going to study in this section of the Economic Survey of India. The first thing that you must be knowing is that the year 2021-22, especially April to November, saw a IPO boom in India. इतनी सारी कंपनीज का IPO हुआ. Name me 5 countries which got its IPO done between April to November. 5 कंपनीज बताएं कोई. One by one. Paytm, Zomato, okay. Nykaa. Burger King also got there, okay. क्रेड का आईपीओ नहीं हुआ मेरे ख्याल से. पारस डिफेंस, यस. अडानी विलमार्ट का अभी हुआ है, वो फरवरी में कभी हुआ है ना. मैं अप्रैल से नवंबर की पूछ रहा हूँ. ठीक है, 4-5 तो आपने फिर भी बता दिए. देयर आर मेनी कंपनीज लाइक देयर इज लेटेंट व्यू, टेगा इंडस्ट्रीज, सुप्रिया लाइफ साइंसेस, ऐसे बहुत सारी कंपनीज हैं इनका आईपीओ अभी हुआ था. तो इनफैक्ट द अप्रैल टू नवंबर में जितना आईपीओ हुआ है ना इंडिया में, वो लास्ट डिकेड में लार्जेस्ट है. लाइक इनफैक्ट 75 IPOs were done in this period and 89,000 crore rupees was raised from the market by these IPOs. Nykaa, Zomato, MapMyIndia. Sir, can we say factoring is like a bad bank? No, beta, factoring is not like a bad bank. In bad bank, the money has become NPA. Recovering it is in case of factoring, you need the money immediately, but otherwise Reliance would have given you money. Thoda late deta, but it would have given you money. Now, trend in retail participation in the capital market. Retail matlab individual, like in capital market, stocks could be bought by institutional investors. LIC has a big share of big investment in stock market. It's a institutional investor. Mutual funds invest there, foreign institutional invest there, but then there are retail investors like people amongst us. Does anyone of you have a demat account? है? अच्छा, बहुत सारे लोगों के पास है. आपके पास भी है? ओके. हाँ, जिनके पास है उनको ही बस पता था कि किस किस का आईपीओ हुआ है. आई कैन सी ओनली दोज वर आंसरिंग आईपीओ. शिवाली, नहीं शिवाली, क्या नाम है आपका? स्वराली. एक तो नाम कुछ ना सिंपलीफाई करो अपना. Did you invest in any of the IPOs? You didn't get. नहीं, उसके बाद IPO के बाद did you invest in any of the companies? टाटा मोटर्स तो बहुत पुराना है ना. अभी जिन कंपनीज का IPO आया, किसी ने अच्छा, अडानी विल्मर में किया. अच्छा है. अरे नहीं, वो तो अप्लाई किया ना. मैं बोल रहा हूँ लिस्ट होने के बाद किसी ने इन्वेस्ट किया नई कंपनी में. नहीं, रिस्की रहता है. पेटीएम तो नहीं, खत्म नहीं. इट विल टेक इट्स टाइम. बुल मार्केट में आप आने की कोशिश करते हो, फिर गड़बड़ हो जाती है. एनीवेज, investors, there are big institutional investors, then there are retail investors, individuals like us. So as we saw in our classroom, there were 4-5 students who are having demat account and who are investing in the stock market. These individual investors are increasing in recent years. During COVID-19 lockdown, lots of demat accounts were opened, and even now, even in 2021, lots of demat accounts of individuals have been opened. So another update which Economic Survey of India gives is that in 2019-20, of the total turnover of NSE पे जितने stocks बेचे खरीदे जाते थे, 38% was done by retail investors. Now 44% is done by retail investors. Between April to October, 44% is done by retail investors. Saying what? Indicating what? That role of retail investors is increasing in India's capital market. At the same time, you'll see that in this period, 2.2 crore individual demat accounts were added. April to November 2021 में 2.2 crore demat accounts were added in this period. Are you able to understand this? यहाँ तो factual है, but understand the fact that retail investors' role in the economy, in the capital market is going up. Now, if I have to make a tricky question, I would say during COVID-19, a lot of people lost job. First statement. Second, during COVID-19, a lot of individual investors started investing in stock market. You would say, अरे lost job हुई है तो stock market में शायद invest ना करें. You will find it contradictory, but that's not true. A lot of people lost job, but a lot of people also in retail investors, number of retail investors increased. If I had, मतलब मेरा अगर मेरे को level up start नहीं करना होता, तो I would have also started investing in the stock market in 2020 because it felt like anything. So there was a lot of scope for investment. Okay, now investment by foreign portfolio investors, FPIs, FDI, FPIs. You all of you understand the difference between that. The FPI investment was 24,125 crore in between April to November. This is 82% lower than the corresponding period last year. Between April 2020 to November 2020 में जितना investment हुआ है, उसका almost आधा FPI ने invest किया है in this period. Net investment. Please note, this is net investment. FPIs invest money in Indian stock market. They also take out the money. So net FPIs have invested, but if you look at numbers of December, January, February, FPIs are taking their money out. Go to NSE's website every day or BSE's website every day, you will see that net FPI अपना पैसा बाहर निकाल रहे हैं. They are not investing. Those factors, what factors? Taper tantrum in US, inflation going up, then Russia-Ukraine crisis. If war starts, then the economy would be destroyed and people are being cautious. So this decrease, this number would have been negative today in the second half of 2021, but here in the first half of 2021, it's positive. Net investment is there. There were investment, they took away the money, but net investment is there. But this net investment is 84% less than last year's investment. Understand the pattern. See, you could have read these notes, but emphasis on these aspects is very important. You should, after this class or so, you will have a broader idea on what has happened at a financial level, what has happened in the country in last 1 year. Indian benchmark index BSC hai, NSE hai. In BSC we have 30 largest companies of India listed. In NSE we have like Nifty 50 में जाओगे तो Nifty 50 में we have 50 major companies. So Sensex has gone up by 17.7% and BSC index has gone up. BSC Sensex has gone up by 17.7% between April to December, and Nifty has gone up by 18.1%. But again, अब November से आप February में आओगे तो you will perhaps see a net negative. October में our BSC Sensex as well as Nifty 50 was at its peak. After that, it has come down, gone up, come down, gone up. मतलब October का peak हमने cross नहीं किया है in the second half yet. MSCI Emerging Market Index and India's weight. So what is MSCI? First look at this. Morgan Stanley Capital International. तो ये एक full form लिख लीजिए. It's not written in your notes. Morgan Stanley Capital International. MSCI is an organization, US-based organization, which creates these indexes to tell users about companies listed in different stock exchanges all over the world. उनका एक index है which is called MSCI Emerging Market Index. Here they have identified thousands, like around 1420 countries, 1420 companies. उनका उन्होंने एक इंडेक्स बनाया हुआ है. This 1420 companies come from 25 emerging markets including India. And foreign investors look at this MSCI index to gauge whether they should be investing in a particular company in India or not. If MSCI index plate is doing well, if it's not doing well, what are the future prospects? Based on that, the companies come and invest, or the foreign investors come and invest in developing market this thing. So this index, MSCI Emerging Market Index, was set up in 2001. Here, emerging, emerging market में growth ज़्यादा होता है. Growth rate is higher in emerging market. Like if you see the growth of BSC, Bombay Stock Exchange, or NSE, and if you go to Dow Jones, देखो Dow Jones 2008 से अब तक कितना बढ़ा है और BSC NSE कितना बढ़ा है, you will see that Indian markets definitely do much better. Go to Nikkei. Nikkei is a index of Japan. You will not see a lot of growth there. So they want to invest in Indian companies, but they do not have all the information, all the details of investing in Indian countries. So they take help of foreign investors, take help of these kind of indexes. Now on this index, weight of Indian companies matter. For example, you will see composition of MSCI EM index. How has India weighted? How has India's weight changed over time? In 2018, Indian companies in this list had 9.32% weight. In 2020, this weight had reduced to 8.3%. In December 2020, the weight had again increased to 9.25%, but in December 2021, the weight has gone up to 12.45%. So this weight depends on a lot of factors. एक तो growth वगैरह पे है, but more importantly, foreign companies कितनी easily invest कर सकती हैं. All those aspects are taken into consideration. So India, if India increases its FPI limit, FPI पे limit होता है, like you cannot invest like in you cannot a company, an institutional investor from USA cannot come and buy all 100% shares in Indian company, right? There's a limit. If India keep increasing this limit, then more foreign companies can invest here. तो यहाँ पे इंडिया का weight बढ़ता है. तो why has this weight gone like this? One reason was यहाँ पे decrease का एक reason was, like here if you'll come, this is India's weight at MSCI EM index. Here you'll see that यहाँ पे एक reduction होना शुरू हुआ. यहाँ पे एक reduction हो रहा है. The reduction which was happening here, one reason for this reduction was some China's shares were added into the list which were not there. So in terms of overall weight, Indian shares would reduce. You'll see in June 2017, MSCI had announced that beginning June 2018, China A shares were publicly listed mainland Chinese companies that trade either on Shanghai Stock Exchange or Shenzhen Stock Exchange would be included in this list. When China shares get included in the list, overall weight of India goes down. So earlier, India's weight had reduced. Then in 2020, what happened? India announced that FPI limit would be relaxed. More foreign money would be allowed in individual companies. FPI limit was made equivalent to FDI limits. As a result, India's foreign ownership limits in its global indices increased. Thus, MSCI India's foreign inclusion factor rose to 7% from 0.39, rose by 7% from 0.39 to 0.42, and accordingly, India's weight in MSCI index increased to 9.2% from 9%. So recent increase in India's weight in MSCI has been because of this FPI limit increase. Now, what is foreign inclusion factor? Foreign inclusion factor at very basic level is proportion of shares outstanding that are deemed to be available for purchase by public equity market, purchase in public equity market by international investors. That is, how many shares can foreign investors buy? That is roughly measured by foreign inclusion factor. So when FII limit increases, foreign inclusion factor increases, more foreign companies would be able to buy Indian products and India's weight there increases. Fine. This is also understood. Okay. Let's go to insurance sector. गर्मी लगने लगी है. Should we get all the ACs on? सबको गर्मी लग रही है? एसी चलवा दे? तो बोलो ना रिसेप्शन पे जाके, बोल दो ना एक बार रिसेप्शन पे जाके कि सारे एसी चलवा दो यार, सर बोल रहे हैं वरना नहीं सुनेंगे आपकी, तीनों एसी चलवा दो। ठीक है, इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर। नाउ before we get into insurance sector, there are two basic terms that we want to understand. One is insurance penetration and other is insurance density. ये दो terms हमें समझने हैं। First of all, what is insurance penetration? Insurance penetration is insurance premium divided by GDP of the country. तो आप बहुत सारे, there are many types of insurance. You have life insurance, you have accidental health insurance, you have accidental insurance, you have so many types of insurance. In 1 year, how much premium is paid? For example, in life insurance, you may be paying 500 rupees a month. So in 1 year, you may have paid 6,000 rupees. As all the people together in the country may have paid some lakh crore rupees in life insurance, some lakh crore in accidental insurance, some crores in some other insurance. Premium amount divided by GDP of the country. This is called insurance penetration. Basically, ऐसे समझो कि insurance in a way is protecting your productivity. If you fall sick, तो 5 दिन की आपकी काम जा रहा है, वो सारी चीजें जा रही है, एक्सपेंस जा रहा है, उसको हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस कवर कर रहा है। तो इंश्योरेंस इंटेंसिटी मेजर्स की ऑफ your total GDP, how much percentage of that GDP you are paying for insurance, you're paying for protection. That is insurance intensity. Total premium amount divided by GDP of the country. Total premium amount divided by GDP of the country. Are we all able to understand? Pakka, like if there is anyone who has not understood it, please let me know. Because these are not some things which are given in general books. These are, I think, perhaps the things which you are studying for the first time. So please let me know if you haven't understood this. I'm assuming सबको समझ में आया है. Okay. What is insurance density? Total premium amount divided by population of the country. If the total premium amount, let's say, is 1,000 crore rupees, population of the country is 100 crore. So insurance density would be 1,000 crore divided by 100 crore. What is it? 10. Insurance density would be 10. So it basically tells you on an average, how much is an individual paying for insurance in your country. Total insurance premium divided by population. तो एक इंडिविजुअल कितना पे कर रहा है इंश्योरेंस के लिए ऑन एन एवरेज, एंड जो इंश्योरेंस पेनिट्रेशन था, इट वाज सेइंग कि आपके टोटल जीडीपी में कितना परसेंटेज इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम के लिए जा रहा है, कितना पेमेंट इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम के लिए जा रहा है. सो नाउ विल कम टू द डेटास. तो इंडिया's insurance penetration has increased steadily to 4.2%. That is, of our total GDP, 4.2% is going in the form of insurance premium. This number was 2.71% in 2001. So from 2001 to 2020, our insurance penetration has more than doubled. But of this 4.2%, 3.2% is for life insurance penetration and 1% is for non-life insurance penetration. फिर से, what was insurance penetration? Total premium divided by total GDP. It is 4.2% in India. So of the total premium, 3.2% is for life insurance, 1% is for non-life insurance. But when you go to global scale to understand what is the situation globally, life insurance may we have kind of achieved global parity. It is 3.3% globally, we are 3.2, roughly same. But non-life insurance may 4.1% globally, our insurance coverage is only 1%. What does it indicate? For those of you who want to start business, जो non-life insurance है उसमें there's a lot of potential. If you want to start a company to ensure easy insurance access for people, Perhaps life insurance में there's not a lot of scope, already a lot of people are insured, but non-life insurance has a lot of scope. This data tells you that. Right? Now, what was the other thing? Insurance density. Total insurance premium divided by population. So per head population, what is the insurance premium that is there? In India, that number has increased from $11.5 in 2001 to $78 in 2020. $78 in 2020. But if you look, and इसमें से 78 में life insurance 59%, $59, and non-life insurance $19. But if you go to world average, it will tell you your numbers are way lesser. Average world life insurance premium is $360. That is premium divided by total population. World average is $360 life wala. India mein it's only $60. If premium is less, coverage is also less. So India mein life cover is way lesser than global average. I'm not talking about developed countries. Please note, I'm talking about global average. In global average, we are way behind. In terms of premium with respect to GDP, we were doing good because our GDP is global average से lower side पे होता है. यहाँ पे भी we are seeing that. Per capita income आप जानते हो इंडिया का is on the lower side. यहाँ पे we are seeing that. Then non-life insurance is more higher in global situation. Our number is like less than 1/20th of global situation. Fine. So this was how insurance sector is doing in the country. Let's now go to pension sector. So the total number of subscribers under National Pension Scheme as well as under Atal Pension Yojana has now gone to 4.63 crore. From 3.74 crore in September 2020, we have gone to 4.63 crore in September 2021, a net growth of 23.7%. Age profile is also modifying. आप देखेंगे a lot of young people are coming. In 2016, under Atal Pension Yojana, 29% of the people were in age group of 18 to 25. But today, in September 2021, 43% of the subscribers are in the age group of 18 to 24. So a lot of young people are taking insurance services. Okay, then gender gap is also reducing. In 2016, 37% of the APY beneficiaries, Atal Pension Yojana participants were women. That number has come to 44%. Now, 44% of the people who are enrolling in under Atal Pension Yojana are women. So gender parity is also going up. Younger people are also participating in under insurance. There are some other updates which you should have an idea about. The limit of aggregate holding of equity shares by a foreign company in pension fund has been revised up from 49% to 74%. That is, foreign companies in an insurance fund can own up to 74% of the equity share. Earlier, it was 49%. That is, we are focusing on increasing investment, increasing foreign investment in our pension funds. So, kal, if I want to start a company which is focused on providing pension services, earlier only 49% of the investment could have come from abroad. Now 74% of investment could be coming from abroad. There are some other changes, not very important, but Economic Survey of India में है, तो आप लोग एक बार खुद से read करेंगे. जैसे this is the limit for allowing exit from NPS without requirement of annuization. What is annuization? कोई बताएगा मुझे? What is annuization? Total? Anyone else with more clarity? Annuization is this. देखो, like today, if I join a pension scheme for 30 years till the age of 60, I'll be participating. I'll be paying there, and then after that, I'll start getting annual payments, या monthly payments. वो वाला. That phase is annuization. जब मैं annually मुझे पैसा मिलना शुरू हुआ है, तो annually I'll start getting some money. Yeah, monthly, that annual thing would be divided monthly. what if I want it in a lump sum way? I want it at one go. उससे related some changes have happened, but बहुत important नहीं है exam के लिए. But what do I say? It's there in Economic Survey of India. That's why you should read it once. Atal Pension Yojana. Atal Pension Yojana is an initiative which was launched by government in 2015 and was focused more on poorer section of the society. Under this Atal Pension Yojana has replaced the Swavlambam scheme of National Pension System. Under National Pension System, एक स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का एक सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के अलग अलग स्कीम्स थे, एक गरीब लोगों के लिए स्वावलंबन स्कीम था. That Swavlamban scheme has been replaced by Atal Pension Yojana. So what was Swavlamban scheme and why did it need to get replaced by Atal Pension Yojana? Swavlamban scheme was a pension scheme where individuals would start contributing right now, and after their retirement they will start getting pension. But it was not ensuring minimum pension. It was a contribution based scheme. आप जितना ज्यादा भी contribute कर पाओगे उस टाइम after retirement आप उतने ज्यादा पैसे ले पाओगे. Our national pension system has become contribution based. No, do you know? Earlier in 1990s our pension system was not contribution based scheme. उसे उठा दो, बीच में सो गया. नहीं आपके वो पीछे एकदम दीवार के सहारे लेके नींद आ रही है. क्या नाम है आपका? राहुल. नाम तो सुना ही होगा. क्या सोच रहे थे? कुछ नहीं सोच रहे थे, सो गए थे. तो रात में क्या करते हो? रात में भी सोते हो, दिन में भी सोते हो? इतना नहीं सोते भाई, जाओ मुंह धो के आओ. मैं ऐसा बोल रहा होता कि सर रात में कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट काम कर रहा था तो यहाँ सोना जस्टिफाइड था, है ना? क्या बोल रहे हैं सर? इतना बोरिंग पढ़ा रहे हो, आदमी तो सोएगा ही. भाई मैं बोरिंग नहीं पढ़ा रहा, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया इतना बोरिंग है, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता उसमें. या तो पढ़ाना बंद कर देते हैं, हम अपनी चीजें पढ़ाएंगे, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया बंद करते हैं, अदरवाइज इट इज बोरिंग. लेट्स कम बैक टू दिस. क्या हम किसकी बात कर रहे थे? स्वावलंबन. तो अच्छा, स्वावलंबन से पहले 1990s में your pension was not decided by your contribution. How much your pension was decided by, जैसे गवर्नमेंट जॉब में आप थे, at the time of retirement आपका जो सैलरी है उसका आधा आपको पेंशन मिलने लगेगा. Something like this was the system earlier. This was the system. So no matter how much you have contributed in PF and all those things, or in pension initiatives and all those things, your pension was well defined, was predefined. But with the coming of national pension, and this used to be very expensive for government. So when national pension system was brought in, this method was done away with. Now it became a contribution based initiative. आप जितना contribute कर रहे हैं आपको pension उस हिसाब से मिलेगा. तो state government के लिए scheme था, central government के लिए scheme था, but then a Swavlamban scheme was brought for non-state government, non-central government employees, weaker section of the society. Under Swavlamban also आप जितना contribute करेंगे आपको उसी के basis पे, on that basis you will get pensions. But there was a problem here. Poor families, you would not be able to convince them that you invest this much, you will get that much. For them, you need to ensure specific pension amount. Atal Pension Yojana is doing that. Atal Pension Yojana provides minimum guaranteed pension of rupees 1,000 to rupees 5,000 on attaining 60 years of age. The pension is guaranteed for lifetime to spouse in case of the death of subscriber. Suppose I take pension, I participate in Atal Pension Yojana, and at the age of 65 I die. So for 5 years I got pension, but after that my wife would be able to get pension for rest of her life. In the event of death of both the subscriber and the spouse, I die and my spouse also dies, then the entire pension corpus is paid to the nominee. जो भी नॉमिनी होगा, बिकॉज लेट्स से आई हैव कंट्रीब्यूटेड इन दिस पेंशन एंड आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग, गवर्नमेंट वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट फ्रॉम द एज ऑफ 60 to the age of 85 आई विल हैव टू पे दिस पर्सन दिस मच अमाउंट. I was supposed to get that, but I die at the age of 65 with my spouse. Both of us निकल लेते हैं. Then 15 years का तो पेमेंट बाकी है ना, तो rather than 15 years और पेंशन मिलने का, the lump sum amount together would be given to the nominee, whoever would be the nominee. So as of September 2021, 4.63 crore enrollment have happened in Atal Pension Yojana. This is the latest data that we have from Economic Survey of India. अच्छा, by the way, अच्छा ये क्या है? We are coming up with a free NCERT initiative for all the subjects. Initially, we'll be starting it with polity from 1st of March. मैं नहीं करा रहा, मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है. अलग-अलग टीचर्स हैं, क्लास 6 से क्लास 12 की NCERTs को डिस्कस करेंगे. कोई चैप्टर 5 मिनट में भी खत्म हो जाए, सिर्फ रेलेवेंट पोर्शन. कोई चैप्टर 5 मिनट में भी खत्म हो जाएगा, किसी चैप्टर में 10 मिनट लगेंगे, किसी चैप्टर में आधा घंटा लगेगा. बट इस तरह से हम में से बहुत सारे लोग ना NCERTs भी कवर करके नहीं जाते हैं अच्छे से, तो उसका सारा रेलेवेंट पोर्शन इफेक्टिव तरीके से करवाने का प्लान है. तो ये NCERT स्निपेट इनिशिएटिव is something that we are planning to launch from 1st of March. तो initially I think they are starting with polity में class 9, 10, 11, 12 की NCERT कवर करेंगे, and then they'll jump on to other subject based on how useful this is for students. Okay, and it's a free initiative. It will be on YouTube. It's not a program that you have to join or anything. It would be a free initiative on the YouTube of Level Up IAS. इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी कोड. इंसॉल्वेंसी बैंक्रप्सी ना थोड़ा फ्रेश माइंड से पढ़ने वाली चीज है, तो आज यहीं रुकते हैं. इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी, ये देखो कितना खुश हुआ है. इंसॉल्वेंसी बैंक्रप्सी इंपॉर्टेंट है, थोड़ा ध्यान से पढ़ेंगे. आई वाज प्लानिंग कि ब्रेक के बाद इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी शुरू करना था, बट ब्रेक के बाद हम बाकी चीजें पढ़े हैं. तो कल at 11:30 we'll meet. First we'll finish the ABC वाला thing, and then from rest of the Economic Survey of India chapter are highly factual. I do not have to explain you concepts की reverse repo और ये all those things. So do not worry, अब सब जल्दी जल्दी हो जाएगा. It would not be this lengthy, it would not be this problematic. Okay. So I'll see you tomorrow then. Thank you.